Wait, evil
Dark
can't even
Dealings,
right now.
I didn't know what the bookmark was called.
Yep, Dark Dealings is the game.
Oh,
To be fair,
shit.
we did change
Did I not
the
even
name of the game.
bookmark that one?
You might have to go out to the games
Yeah.
and then jump in. It's fine.
Wait.
I'm gonna step away and go and take something to hopefully make me feel slightly better. But you guys managed to get the dude or get through Wurzel Snap's house, found him.
After a slight bit of B&E.
Yeah. You found him, he's in bed, sleeping. And we'll probably pick up right where he wakes up and we'll see where things go.
Well, to be fair, what actually happened was last time on Dark Dealings, we broke and entered some gnome inventor's wizard's house. Picked up a couple items. One or two of them might have had very, very, very weird enchantments. Like a ring that looks like it has a wish spell in it, but is actually just a ring of being contrarian. We decided to rifle through the rest of the house. My character, Gadriel, accidentally knocked over what seemed to be a potion or filter of love. And Ta accidentally inhaled the fumes, so we don't really know what happened there. We found boots of teleportation, which are super rare and very expensive, and decided to do a quick test on them, and we came out fusing boots of elven kind with boots of teleportation, and basically rendering them useless for anybody else besides elves and people who have been to the Feywild before. While also simultaneously fusing Gadriel and Thunder's character Dice into a single being momentarily until Thunder had to use a dimension door to escape the confines of Gadriel's insides. Meanwhile, I believe Saber's character Ta and Nyx, Busty's character, and who else was up there? Was it Dice? Yes, Dice. Entered a sideways gravity room where there was a quick puzzle, which you guys are going to see right here, right now on the left side, with 3 paths, one for good characters, one for neutral characters, and one for evil characters. I'll let you color code yourself. And at the end of that puzzle, right up here, it's not really there, but there were 3 doors, each with corresponding path to related to character alignment, and a giant gnomish statue with an anvil on it that would let you magically create keys to open each door. There was a fucking slime in one door, and then a trap with barbecue sauce in the other door, and the third door was just... I don't think there was anything in there. Was there, Dice? Or Thunder?
The neutral door, I don't think it had anything, no.
Yeah, but in each of the... Well, in 2 of the doors, the evil door...
I had a chest with a piece of leather.
Yes, that was it. In 2 of the doors, there were chests at the end of the hallway. One with a leather thong of some sorts, and another with the evil door also had a some sort of like sculpture or whatever the fuck. I don't remember. And the third door, the good door, actually had access to the house's magical vault of items, where we found the owner of the house, who had supposedly been there for a while because he went fucking crazy and yelling and screaming about demons and attacking the party. Ta, Dice, and God, I can never remember who the fuck went through. Ta, Dice, and It wasn't Nyx. Nyx stayed outside. So did Gadriel, just because they didn't want to go through that bullshit. Was it Lucian? No.
Nope. Lucian was like, "Fuck you guys."
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna copy
Lucian.
down
This
these
entire time, Lucian
spells."
was trying to copy down spells from a spell book that were decent and got stuck in fucking telemarket hell with bureaucracy all over it. How your character has to spend what, a total of 24 hours?
Something like that.
Oh god. But yeah, anyways, I believe it was Dice Ta and fucking
Cook.
there we go, Krurik, Billy's character. Holy shit, I forgot Billy was here last week. That was why I was drawing a blank. Kruk's character, which was I believe it's a a half elf, no, an elven sorcerer, I believe. No, it was half elven sorcerer. Managed to quote unquote subdue Wurzel Snap and bring him back up, but not after Gadriel and Nyx ran through the doorway, triggering a trap that Krurik hadn't told anybody about, and covering Gadriel in barbecue sauce, which ended up attracting the attention of a giant metal hydra, which Nyx, Busty's character, decided to burn a scroll of plane shift on to send it over to her old patron back when she was a warlock, as a sort of farewell gift. I'll never see you again, you fucker. Which may or may not come back to bite us in the ass, but who knows? And that's when we left off with Ta playing nursemaid to a very unconscious Wurzelstap. Speaking of which, where is Ta?
There isn't like a what do you call it, like a sudden like rocket launch or anything like that we know of, because that's the only thing I can see him dropping everything he's doing to go walk.
Maybe Doswald has kidnapped him. Name drop in here. Oh yeah, I don't know. I think he's just.
No, you mentioned that his assistant or cousin or something. I haven't been here long. Mentioned that he was attempting to get rid of his toys, as it were. It seems as though they had a bit of a falling out. Wuzzle Snap got locked in the vault along with all of his wonderful little contraptions. I say, holding up my stuffed pocket full of these things. And the rest is history.
Basically.
That said, I would be interested to tell where, was it Mordor or something?
Morden. Yeah.
Morden. Just to tell where Morden went. But I suppose that could be figured out later.
All right. Well, since I don't see a saber, hopefully he'll join us. Do this. Yeah, I don't have his number anymore.
That is unfortunate because he is the one who is like hovering
Yep.
right over him.
Yep. It is what it is. However,
I don't know.
After-
Nix is like waiting for Whistle Snap to get up. Like she's
Okay.
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
a fucking plan of how to fucking talk her way out of what just happened.
fair enough.
And your character literally ended last week's episode with sitting in a magical teddy bear beanbag thing
Yeah,
and
just
getting
hugging
hugged
the
by
shit
it
out of
and
you.
reading your thing and nonchalantly saying, yes, I'm going to keep this one.
Yep.
Let's see. I think I made, by the way, a comprehensive list of some of my magic items, so I'm just going to post that here.
All right. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Fair enough.
Holy fucking shit. Fucking love item number 3.
Oh, that last one is such a fucking, that is demon work right there. Working it up.
Oh, God. That's like, that's the same thing as like a sock that never quite fits right after you put your shoe on.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I see a saber.
Yeah, he's online.
There we go.
Oh, good.
Yeah, is that cool with you, by the way?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Cool.
Fucking coat of
As long as the
cover-up.
ones that I have in there are in there, it's good.
When you cough while wearing this coat, your cough is covered up by a sound ranging from a lion's roar to an explosion. What the fuck?
A hat in disguise that only works on the hat.
Oh,
Yeah.
the wand of wishing. Fucking magic glasses. Jesus Christ. Oh, wand of badger noises.
I figured it was self-explanatory enough.
I don't know what badgers make. This sounds. Let me check. Sorry, everybody on
Okay.
stream and YouTube. I'm gonna fucking listen to this shit.
If I recall, it's like a chittering kind of screech
Yeah.
thing.
Number 9 is maybe one of my favorites.
Yeah, it was the one you came up with, or one of the ones
Yep.
you came up with. So
Yep.
Fucking
Oh, keep that zipper. That looks super handy.
Fuck me, that is weird. Imagine casting that on a fucking gnome barbarian.
Oh man, gotta get a voice actor in for that one.
You think we could pull Cole in real quick?
I don't know. Rickon can do it pretty well. Can do some pretty crazy voices.
Oh yeah,
He
Shane's
wants to.
pretty good too.
also, I have like major image and all that shit. I can probably do it fairly easily as well.
Cursed rod of incontinence. Wait, hold on, it's cursed. Does that mean Dice's character is currently cursed with incontinence?
No, you have to actually like hold on to it for a little while.
Oh, okay. He's not attuned yet,
Yeah.
but soon.
Yep. It just makes you have to go take a piss all the time. But you never quite make it.
Huh, number 4 is kind of concerning.
How do you mean?
I mean, I'm not gonna say what it is, but it is a little concerning.
Hmm.
Although at the same time, I guess it could be like really, really handy.
Potentially.
In theory. Then again, it doesn't say where exactly the hole goes, so
Mm-hmm.
I assume whatever's on the other side of the surface, it's 1 centimeter thick.
that would be where the assumption, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It just goes into the ethereal plane.
Or it's somewhere random on the current plane of existence.
Or worse, straight into the abyss.
Or it simultaneously unzips a zipper somewhere else in the plane. That's the whole.
Hey,
Ooh,
you
I
guys
kinda
aren't
like
looking
that.
on the bright side of things. That zipper could be at the bottom of a really, really fat coin pouch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, but where's the fun in that? Maybe it's a doorway into that into Carl the Bone Fiend's house that we summoned 4 times on the fucking airship.
Oh, we gotta say hi to Carl before this campaign ends. I'm sure we will.
Oh, I might have plans for Carl at some point.
Oh, we haven't seen Carl in so long.
Yeah, because he got rid of the staff.
The staff that I like to note Nick's lifted.
Yeah, from this place, actually.
Half of the reason why that key is so pissed at her.
Uh-huh.
Well, there'd be a couple uses for that veil.
I could imagine somebody walking around town with the boots of Tap being the most annoying person.
Well, you guys did manage to kind of create a new magical item.
Yeah, it is one of a kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least the boots of tap and not boots of tap dancing.
What were your forced tap dance everywhere?
Yep.
Yep. It's got the same metal slats at the bottom, but boots of tap, at least people will know you're coming. It's for people who are very self-important.
Yep.
I imagine it makes that sound in the hallway in every single fucking movie where it's like just the person or whoever is wearing it walking down like a fucking marble hallway.
Yep. Pretty much, yeah. That's exactly right.
But 24/7. Hey, Saber.
No matter what you're walking on.
You there?
Wait for it.
Wait for it.
Hold.
It'll happen eventually. It's fine.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Fuck it, we're doing it live. We'll do it
Run
live.
alive.
Yeah, no worries, man. All right. Well,
While you were gone, I already did the recap.
yep. Fine. And I am semi-miserable at the moment. So that's always fun. Oh, that's what I was missing. Yay. Figured it out. So it'll just be for later.
Now I have Lionel Richie and Marvin Gaye and Tammy Jarrelli stuck in my head. So nice to have the gang back together. Mostly.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Still missing Brown Nick. Oh well. I have plans for him, one way or another.
Brandon comes back, he's level 15.
Starts punching all of you in the face repeatedly.
With an immense magical wooden arm.
Could
He's grown a foot.
He turned into Vega. He can turn into a giant now.
Oh god.
The dwarf who would be tall.
The dwarf who dared dream big.
All
We
right.
have the most ridiculous pun vaults on the other Discord now.
Yep. At
I
your
kinda
request, but
love it.
yes.
Yeah, I kind of love it. It's great.
It's great for everything that it is.
Mm-hmm. I didn't get the whole Kelamal thing at first. Like, as in when I initially wrote up his name or whatever, I was not expecting that. But it's pretty good. And playing through the storyline of Osmosis Jones inside of Vega would also be pretty great.
There's probably a module out there for that.
Probably. Something like that. There's one for dogs.
Yeah.
I love
Billy
it.
told me. She
Yeah.
showed me the other day. It was actually, frankly, pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. I love that the Chihuahua's the rogue. Just makes me happy on a very primal level.
Credit goes to Russ Charles for Animal Adventures, Tales of Dungeons and Doggies.
Mm-hmm.
All right, finally got it fixed.
Yeah.
Hey!
Yay. How you doing?
All right.
That's good. I'm probably sick, so if I have to get up for a couple minutes, it's probably why. But we'll see.
Okay. Let's do thing.
Okay, so you guys are currently in the bedroom of Wurzel Snap's house, with the weird vault having been essentially destroyed by a mighty fortress, which is still there. Where are all of you at this point? It's been a good few hours. It's probably coming on to really early in the morning, like 3, 4 in the morning.
I probably finished cleaning myself up of barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Yeah, I
God
like the
damn.
barbecue sauce. It was good.
Nick's gonna set out like a tray of like maybe like a choice of hard liquor or just some water and set that down next to him on like a nightstand or something and
On the
find a
bedside
chair.
table.
Yeah, yeah. And she'll just kind of sit there and wait for Whistle Snap to wake up and pretty much hope that everybody gets the fuck out of the house before then.
Okay. Duh.
I'm guarding the door.
Okay. And Dice?
I'll be in the room as well. Just,
Lucian?
you know.
Are you still on hold?
Yep.
Okay. Well, you are allowed to copy stuff down, but you can only get 2 of the 4 spell levels that you need currently.
Okay. Yeah, because
So, yeah, so you would have had about 2
Right.
hours to kill.
I'll take a nap.
Do we have the equivalent of a long rest, or no?
No.
Okay,
No, not
cool.
yet. um, unless one of you chooses to take a long rest. But that's sort of a different thing.
I
So-
would like to make sure that I have my tabard with the symbol of Maradin on full display, just in case, because
Okay.
they did say he was muttering some shit about demons
Yeah,
and
see,
being very delusional.
he wasn't just muttering it, actually. He was screaming it earlier. Okay,
All the way off the tower.
as he fell.
Wait,
Uh,
what?
Oh yeah, you weren't in there for that, were you?
Nope.
Okay. So who's in the room? It'll be Nex and Ta, and anyone else?
Hi.
I'll be in there.
Okay. All right. So, Lucian, where are you then? Just
Taking a nap.
buddy.
Yeah,
All right,
somewhere.
Nex. In order to get out of the hug, go ahead and make me a strength check to break essentially what
Oh,
is a
fuck
grapple.
off. Really? Okay.
That's how we're starting today.
All right. I see.
Mm-hmm. No.
Somebody help me.
No. You feel yourself as this super plush, like giant teddy bear squeezes you just a little tighter, and you kind of get pulled into what is apparently its stomach, essentially area, a little bit further.
I'm still very comfortable, but I'm stuck. Help me.
What?
Oh, were you there for that?
I don't. What?
So there were those beanbag chairs in the study.
Oh yeah. I didn't realize it was. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the one that was
Yeah.
giving Nix a hug.
I just remember you going like, "Oh, I want to get one of these," and then that's all that I remember of it. Not that it started pulling you.
It was like it's a plush golem.
Okay.
Man, it's just giving Nix a big happy
Where-
hug. He
Where is
doesn't know
that?
how
Is
to
that
do
in his bedroom or is that
it. No,
somewhere
it's in
else?
the study.
Oh, shit. I remember
Just
the study.
downstairs.
I guess
Plush
if you
golem.
would have yelled, I might have heard you. Oh,
Yeah,
I think
you guys
Nix
could have
needs
heard
help.
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go down and check.
it. Okay, you see a Nix that those pictures of like people who have fallen into the toilet or whatever, and they're just sort of like folded over.
Yep.
Nix is kind of that, but with
I'm
like
just gonna
giant plush bear arms wrapped around her.
I'm just gonna start laughing,
Okay.
and then I'll walk up to it and I'll see if I can pry the arms open.
Okay. In that case, Nix, make me a strength check with advantage, or it could be athletics.
You're killing me today. Jeez.
Yup.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
Holy shit!
Wow.
So that's a double natural one.
That is a 1 in 400 chance.
So Ta, as you sort of scramble around, like it's plush. It's really hard to get a hold on because it like obviously deforms under your hands and all. And the armor doesn't help because you really can't get a good grip. And it just sort of slips out of your grasp as it pulls Nix further and further in. Nix, at this point, you're anything you say is definitely muffled. You're like really in the golem.
I'm gonna say, Nick's your fireproof, right?
Mm.
I'm gonna cast fire bolts at the teddy bear. Something I never thought I would say.
I mean, okay, roll it.
Please.
Not that great.
Okay. I mean, it hits. Ta, roll 2. Sorry, I'm doing math.
I feel like we need to be an initiative for this for some reason.
No, 10d6.
Uh-oh.
Of course, that I do
Okay.
it right with it. 3 6.
Nix, the teddy bear itself literally immolates around you. You're resistant to fire, so you only take half of that. But the whole thing just starts burning. Also, you have now this was up against a bookcase. The bookcase has now caught on fire as well and has begun burning.
Dad,
What do you
what?
do?
Dad, what? Dad,
Smoke
what?
is beginning
Dad,
to
what?
fill the air a bit. You can just sort of hear the crinkle of burning paper, and smell. It smells like a nice wood fire in a way, because it is.
Way to check for flammables, Ta.
Would
The
me
floor's on
and
fire.
Gad smell that from up here?
I don't have a
Uh,
nose.
Or see
Not
smoke
yet.
billowing
Not
out of the
yet.
okay.
But pretty soon. I'm gonna
Hold
give
on,
them a
hold
chance
on.
to do something, and then the smoke
Hold
will
on.
probably
You had
get
to
up
pick
there.
one of the
on.
days where it didn't have create or destroy water
Hold
selected.
Hold on. Hold on. I can use. Oh god, this is gonna be worse. I'm gonna use gust of wind to try and put out the fire.
Okay, roll
You're
it.
blowing into the
can-
case and not away.
And put out fires.
Okay.
It's
Roll it.
not really a
Fires.
roll, but
I
yeah.
want to see I want to see exactly what it does.
So that's what that does.
Okay.
50% chance to extinguish them.
Okay. Roll me a D100.
That'd be worse.
Oh no, it unextinguishes unprotected flames. Protected flames are the only ones that have a chance.
At this point, I'm gonna say that some of the flames in the bookcase might be considered protected flames, but you'll get the majority of it with this.
There we go.
Okay, you managed to get it all. You sort of like blow it up against the wall and everything. Next,
Fireman.
make me a strength save.
Oh,
Because
fuck.
you're directly.
Yeah, that is true. That is actually. That is right.
I mean, you haven't moved.
Hey!
Nice.
Okay.
-2.
So Nyx is doing the mime thing, where it's the wind is blowing or whatever and holding onto a rope, but there's no rope, and you're just sort of like hanging there, like doing the Michael Jackson lean for a good couple seconds until all the flames are out. Both of you, because this is directly into a wall, are completely covered in soot and paper scraps. At this point, Dice, you see a thick waft of smoke come up and sort of hang in the air, like covering the top inch of the ceiling.
I say into the bracelet, folks, I think we may have a code Nix in the library.
Wait, do you have a bracelet?
I do.
Yes.
We've established this. I have a bracelet.
Yep.
Oh,
All of you have bracelets.
I keep forgetting.
No, it wasn't me this time. Ta did it. But
I'm gonna go. What? I
Fine.
don't know what you're talking about.
Ta did it. We put
Everything's
away.
fine.
Give
We're
me a
all fine
deception
down
check.
here.
How are you?
How are you?
Okay.
Quickly. Okay.
None of you believe him.
I'm just like brushing off like the paper scraps, but not the soot.
Yeah. So,
Oh, I
as
just
you
want to do
guys-
this just to see if I fail. Damn it.
nope. You had a +7. There was
You can't
literally no
physically
way
fail.
to fail unless you rolled a natural 1.
Yes, that was what I was looking for.
It's not critical roll. We don't get donations for natural 1s, although that'd be great if we did.
We would have made like $200 last week.
Yeah, probably. Okay. So, at this point, who's still in the room then? Dice and Gad?
Yep.
Yep.
The
I'm
smoke
just
sort of
watching
wafts
over.
in. It's not super thick, right? At this point, it's sort of been dissipated a lot, but there's still a bit of it. And it wafts in over the bed, and you see Wurzel Snap twitch for a second, and his eyes shoot open. And he goes, "Fire! Fire!"
Oops.
and starts running downstairs.
Wait, no, I'm gonna try to catch him. It's fine. There's no fire anymore.
Okay. Make me a dexterity check to try to actually even get your hands on him before he bolts out of the room.
Nope.
No. Okay, he bolts out of the room. So I need. Hold on. I'm gonna do a thing here. This is only gonna make it worse. Okay. But it's what he'd do. So I need a.
We're all gonna die.
No. But it's gonna be great. I just need to find the skin.
Yeah, I'm just
I have way
chasing
too much
after him.
stuff. Okay. I need this. There we go. I knew there were some stuff that I was forgetting. think I'm gonna need a strength save from the people downstairs.
All right then.
Let's see here. Let me make sure.
So, next, how's that idea
Dexterity save, actually.
Damn it. Oh, okay, that's fine. That's like over
Okay.
20.
Okay. So far, Nyx. Well, actually, both of you are hit with this literally tidal wave of water emanating from this tiny little gnome that comes crashing in to attempt to put out the fire where he suspects it is.
It's just
Ta,
like,
you managed to hold on, no problem. However, Nyx, you're thrown up against the wall, and it's just a torrent of water for a couple of seconds.
you're having a bad day.
just you just had the worst fucking luck.
I'm just like
And
blocking with my shield, going, "We got it, we got it." Calm down.
so Todd, you're gonna take 7 damage from the water.
Oh,
Next, you're gonna take 15.
that's lame.
That's how it works.
We haven't even had combat yet, and Nyx has already taken like fucking 35 points of damage.
All right. So, he begins to. You can see like he's looking around, looking for the fire, and he begins to calm down once he sees, his hand, what he thinks is his handiwork. Anyway, okay, crisis averted.
Yeah, you're
And then
welcome.
turns to you and goes, "Who the fuck are you?"
We just saved you from your own vault.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, well, you
And
would.
begins
Fast
walking
episodes.
upstairs.
Yeah, yeah. Keep walking. Whatever, gnome. Would help Nyx up.
Okay.
It's gonna be a long day.
Where does I still want one of those chairs?
What's that?
No, no.
Still one of those
absolutely not.
chairs?
No,
How
no.
how far
Really
away
not.
is Nyx from like the doorway?
About 10 feet.
All right,
15
cool.
maybe?
I'm just gonna. The guy's
Wait,
just gonna
from
stand like
Which doorway?
the doorway to the study.
Oh yeah. About 10 feet or so.
The guy's just gonna like poke his head around the corner, stick his hand out, and just kind of do a little finger wave, and cast prestidigitation, and just like kind of dry Nyx off a little bit, and just go
Okay.
follow Whistle Snap again.
Okay, so Ta the waterlogged is helping Nyx the dry up. Nyx, you're still getting rained on by Ta's armor, but you are mostly dry now.
Okay, yeah, she'll clean herself up and make herself look presentable and shit.
Okay.
And then, yeah, go chase after Whistle Snap.
Okay. He seems to have essentially climbed back into bed, done this sort of turn away from you guys, and gone back to sleep like he's completely ignoring you. You're not sure if
Oh,
he's
good.
sleeping or not, but you can definitely like hear snores. Whether or not they're real, that's up to you guys, really. But yeah.
Well, hey, if he wants to sleep in, he can sleep in.
I'm gonna go over and stand in the doorway and like just kind of lean against it and go, "Can I set him on fire?"
No, you touch
Damn.
this man, I will just immolate you and everybody else here. This is part of the plan. Don't fuck it up.
Everyone has
Okay.
fire resist.
Yep.
Just
Gecko just kind of looks at you like, "What the hell, man? I didn't do nothing."
She'll hurt me more than anything, and that's probably counterintuitive to your only not counterintuitive, but still, I didn't do anything. Anyways, can we like?
I'm gonna try.
Is there anything
off,
here that we
too.
need, or are we just waiting for him to wake up because we want to make sure he's okay? At which point, I think we've established he's doing all right.
Okay, this is what's going to happen for right now. While Whistle Snap is taking his little nappy, we'll head
Mhm.
downstairs. We'll identify what needs to be identified through what we've procured here. We will then put it away, and then hopefully can wake Whistle Snap up, get a little talk out of him, and then hopefully go to the next stage.
Okay. So,
So yeah, Nix will go downstairs and
is
sit
anybody
at a
staying up
table.
where's the snap is?
As soon as like I see that he's just going back to bed, I'm gonna sit down and actually ritual cast detect magic on him just to see like
On him?
does he
Okay.
have any like lingering magical effects from like a possible curse or whatever the fuck was going on down in the vault? Because he said he didn't remember,
Okay.
and he cast a
So-
fucking magic fortress on the inside.
So can you put that up for me really quickly? Just because I want to make sure. 1 foot of stone, 1 inch common metal. Okay. So you can see what looks like I mean the bed's magical, but it seems to be like a really low level enchantment, something just to make the pillows and the mattress fluffier. Nothing too crazy. But around and you couldn't see this before because it hangs pretty close to kind of right below his pectorals, right? There is a small spherical object that glows faintly with some kind of magic, and you're not entirely sure what kind. It seems to be kind of beyond you at the moment.
It doesn't tell me what school of magic it is at all.
No, you're not sure what kind it is. It doesn't seem to really adhere to any particular school.
That is strange. But as long as he's actually... I'm gonna make an insight check to make sure he's, like, actually sleeping.
Sure.
Fuck me.
Okay, hold on. No, that's not gonna work. Let me do this. As far as you can tell, he's sleeping.
Well, whatever was down there seemed to have kept him there for at least a couple of days.
The snoring gets louder.
Alright, I follow everybody downstairs and start try to identify
Actually,
whatever
hold
is
on.
important.
Wait. I think Nix would run up to Gad and Ta and tell Todd to stay here and watch Wizzle.
Yep.
And ask for the bag of holding so Gad can carry it since she probably can't. And then we go downstairs, ID what we need to, and then come back up and get Wizzle.
Okay.
All right.
So, as you do this, first off, yes, all those items, I'll say it's going to take you. Are you doing it?
I
I'm
have
assuming
no more
you're doing it
first level
as
spell
rituals.
slots.
Who
You can
here
use
has
second levels if
identify?
you want, but
I can't.
I've got identify as a ritual.
And who can
I guess.
cast as rituals? Okay, so
Yeah, and it
how
can't.
many of you have identify? Because I think it's like 4 of you.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, you make relatively quick work of it. I'll say you do it as rituals, I assume, for all of you.
Yep.
It'll take you about 2 hours to get through the 30 or so items. You also notice at this point that, just sort of wandering around the lower floors, Kruik seems to be gone. But the bathhouse door, the steam bath or whatever, is slightly ajar.
I turn to everyone else and say, I think Kuruk has had his fill of shenanigans for today, and he took his share of the toys. Well, hope he enjoys them.
You also find the boots of elven teleportation, which were the bizarre instance of random things happening. I gotta find the thing. It's not gonna know
I need to
sent it to
remove
you.
Boots of Elvenkind off my person.
Yep, you don't have that anymore.
Yeah. So now you guys can suddenly really clearly hear Gadriel's footsteps again.
Yep. I don't remember where it is. I think I gave it to one of you. I don't remember who.
I think give it to me. Give me a moment to try
Okay.
and find it.
Oh, there it
There
is.
we go, yeah.
Okay, so who's doing the boots? Oh yeah, that'll work. So yeah, you guys, you also notice the brooch is still where you put it.
All right.
And the spyglass. I don't remember who was using that.
I have it.
Okay, and then I think you still have the ring too.
Yes, I still have the ring, and I guess if I'm the only one who can tune to it, or actually, do we have any? No, I don't think.
What's that?
Lucian can.
Technically,
but,
okay, yeah, Lucian. We'll give it to Lucian then.
Okay.
Also, I don't think I actually know what Ta is. He's interesting.
Nobody
But-
does.
Nobody
Fair
does.
enough.
Yep.
It's the way he likes it, apparently.
Good to
Anyway.
know. But yeah, Lucian, you get some weird, like, patchwork abomination of boots set by you, and I just say, hey, check these out when you have a chance.
Cool.
All right, and yeah, they allow the wearer to teleport to the Feywild. Doesn't do anything else, but it also negates the time dilation for that user.
But it doesn't let him teleport back.
No, you
That's
got to figure that
awesome.
part on your own.
Well, it's only one use of teleport besides not two.
Yeah.
Wait, no, teleport doesn't work across planes. Fuck.
Yeah, this has been a very weird item creation system, but that's how the dice rolled it out, so it made sense to me, kind of. Anyway, and it's only to locations that you've been to inside the Feywild,
Pun
which,
unintended or pun intended?
I mean,
And the pun was made when I
Well-
made the character, but otherwise,
yeah, that's fair. Okay, about an hour or so goes by. Ta, make me a perception check.
Hey, natural
Okay.
20.
Wow.
So you catch this right away as Wurzelsnap, still snoring or whatever, seems to be like tossing and turning in bed, but he's very obviously doing like that kids thing where they squint their eyes really hard, so it looks like they're closed, but he's trying to see who's at the door so he can potentially sneak out or something. You get the feeling that he's been faking it this entire time.
I'll just Nix is downstairs, right?
Yep.
All right. I'll just tell him, we're just here to talk to you. And like that, like I'm not gonna like expect anything else. I'm just gonna tell him that.
Yep. He like knowing that he's been caught, he quickly like flips over to, facing away from you and sort of like pulls the blanket around him for a second.
Yep.
And then slowly brings it down, sits up in bed and goes, "What are you doing in my home?"
We're here to talk to you. Also, we saved you from your vault.
What's wrong with my vault?
Well, you did make a giant fortress inside of it.
What?
Yeah. It
Oh,
was a bit of a weird night.
apparently. I don't remember any of
Also,
this.
there was a giant worm thing, right? With,
Hydra.
some
Metal Hydra.
Yeah, Hydra. Oh, it was a Hydra. Okay, all right. Yeah, there was also a giant Hydra that got summoned because one of our members got covered in barbecue sauce, which is hilarious, by the way. I really enjoyed that one.
Oh no, he's supposed to be there.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
Yeah. No, Cuddles is, well, he's my faithful guardian.
I'm gonna like, I'm gonna do that like, and like turns slowly and like talking to the bracelet like, Nix, he's awake. Actually, he has been awake, but whatever. Get up here. Oh,
Mind you, if thinking back with that name, it's the most unapt name. Like, the metal scales had like hooked barbs on them, and it was the most not cuddly thing.
we
Kill
killed
those
that thing?
enemies.
Did they kill that thing?
No, it's still alive.
Oh,
It's just
okay, all right.
trapped in the fortress. It can't get out the door.
Okay.
It's too big.
Oh, I thought we
Well,
banished it somewhere else.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
no.
did.
One of you
Oh.
banished it to where?
Bamfed it to your
Oh,
own patron.
yeah, that's right.
You bamfed it. No, right. You bamfed it to Fraz Ublu's domain. To his
Yeah,
throne room. Okay.
yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna tell him anything about that thing.
I mean, Tom wasn't there for that, so you just noticed that the fucking thing was there, and now it's gone.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Interesting. I'm just gonna.
Hey, it's cool you can make an invisible metal Hydra.
Yeah.
All right,
I-
so I guess Nick's a
Are you
little-
up there? Can he hear you say that? 'Cause
No, I
he's
was
gotta
just joking.
respond. Yeah. Anyway. So. So yeah. So whatever you guys want to do, but he's sort of sitting up there. He You see him dig into his bedside table and pull out what looks like a leather-bound journal. Um, he actually pulls out two. There's one with a large W on the front, at least the way that it's supposed to be held, and one with a large M on the front, and begins sort of reading through the two of them, apparently trying to find out if there's anything useful in there.
Mm.
You get the idea that he's seen most of these words a lot. But after a little while, he switches out from the W book to the M book, and is still reading when the rest of you walk into the room.
Does he do that by just literally turning the book upside down? Because that would be hilarious.
I wish. No. It's not quite
as I
clever
enter
enough.
the room, I say, "Hey, it's me, the demon. How you doing?"
Who?
I face palm a little bit.
Who now? You're no demon. I mean, you're a dark elf, and to some, I suppose that's the same, but I know what you are. You're no demon.
He's not. Does he remember his little episode?
No, he sure doesn't. By the way, I would have turned it back to him. Like, you were screaming demon at us as we were trying to rescue you from your fault.
He also tried to kill me.
False.
Huh. Interesting. I have no memory of these things, and I hope. Well,
What is the last thing you remember, Mr. Whistlesnap?
I remember Morden. He'd been staying here for a few weeks and had made all these trinkets. It's terrible, terrible, terrible trinkets. But I was happy to facilitate his work and anything for family. And, he seemed to have a path, a sponsor of some kind that was helping him grow in the magical arts. So I put him up for a while and said that he could use a portion of my vault to house his things to work on and all that. Use my laboratory quite a bit.
Do you remember?
And then one day, I don't know when at this point, I'm not sure how much time I've lost, but at one point and he's like sort of reaching through the book, scrolling to try to find it in Morden and his journal. At one point he said, "I have it. I figured it out." And then told me that he had somewhere he had to be, or someone he had to find, I'm not sure. One or the other. And disappeared, and I got annoyed with the vault, and I remember, well, heading down to the vault, and that's about it.
Okay, I think whatever happened, you got yourself stuck in the box, the vault, as you called it, for I'd guess about 2 weeks.
At this point, you actually see he gets to the page in his journal, and he says, "Okay, my last entry was such and such day." I don't have a calendar set up like Thunder does, but I will. And it is in fact about 2 weeks and a day ago. Is the last entry.
The last message that
You
magical
actually
parrot-
guessed that exactly right.
No, it was. I think we had heard the figure 2 weeks thrown around before.
Yeah,
and I was
that's
going
fair.
from that. But,
Yeah. The last message your magical parrot downstairs relayed was something close to the lines of Morden something. I'm going to clean your stuff out from the vault and throw it out in the front yard.
Yes, I left that as a message. I figured it would take me at least a couple of days to do. It's just so much.
Are
And
you aware you're currently in the elemental plane of air?
yes.
Okay, well that's one big bombshell we don't have to worry about anymore. By the way, why would you throw all this stuff out? I say as I open my coat and there is a bunch of magical trinkets pinned to the inside.
So like the guy on Futurama with like the Z-ray eye and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like just on the side of the coat, want to buy some death sticks? As well. Yeah, he looks
On
at
my
you and goes,
cape, basically, but yes.
yeah. He just looks at you and goes, "Because they're terrible. Half of them don't work as intended. Most of them have ill effects. And on top of that, there's just too many of them."
But they're fun.
Sure. And if he wanted to keep them, he could have very easily found his own place to put them, but I need room in my vault.
Fair enough. Do you want me to take them off your hands?
Well, I suppose we should let him. I mean, you can have those. I don't care.
Yes.
However, I would like to inspect my vault first before.
Might be a few issues with that.
Oh,
You did.
Your vault's currently a castle gate, so I recall.
Yeah, how long does that fort last?
A day.
7 days.
Oh, 7 days? Okay, never mind.
Magical fortress is
know.
amazing.
I'm pretty sure it's 7 days.
I'm gonna just look that up very quickly.
Yeah, that's fine.
Callum could learn that.
In theory.
This is not how magic works.
This is not okay.
If we consume his flesh, we gain his power.
Yeah, mighty fortress, and it lasts for let's see. 7 days, yeah.
Yep. If you do it in the same spot for for a year, every 7 days, it becomes permanent.
Yep.
So,
Fortunately, just has to wait a week, but then he'll still have. I don't know. Would that be like a weird way to do excavations? Because it's just the fortress crumbles. So
yeah, it's going to be an interesting moment. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to handle that, but we'll worry about it then.
okay.
Anyway, so you have quite the yeah, at this point, after sort of saying that, he sort of nods, but like sort of shakes his head and goes, "Oh, that's a problem.
Yes, you seem to not have been quite right of mind.
I will fix it later. Okay. For now, why are you in my home?"
I
gonna
just
gesture
slow turn towards Nyx.
Hi, so I'm Nyx. I heard great things about you. You do great work, and I was looking to see if you might want to be interested in using your enchantments to, well, get our ship that we are currently building in a more protective state on the more magical side of things.
Oh, you have a ship.
We have one in the works. I just wanted to come
Ah.
over and get things settled beforehand. I like to make sure that plans are underway.
Very well. Well, I suppose I mean, my services are available to anyone if they can pay. And I suppose it depends on what you want done. And when. And there's a lot of factors going into enchantment as it turns out. But since apparently you dug me out of the vault that I was trapped in, I suppose I can help.
For the record, I came here because of magical shenanigans. But yes.
Right. Okay.
Well, I mean, if you feel more comfortable about it, I mean, we can always do you a favor if there's any sort of errand that needs to be ran, or somebody needs to pay up and they haven't, or anything that you think might be beneficial to you. I'm sure that we can work to some arrangement.
Well, how about give me the rest of the day to figure out what sort of state my house is in,
Yeah, you might want to.
and have someone bring over whatever plans it is that you're looking for, and I'll look them over once I figure out what's going on here, and we can talk at a later date.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. So you guys have picked up a lot of stuff. How are you
Yeah.
hiding it if you are? 'Cause there's some things that are his.
Oh yeah, the spyglass and the ring of contradiction was just kind of in my
Yep.
cape with the trinkets and all that.
Okay. Yeah, no, those are not his actually. The ring is, but not his. Yeah.
Nyx has that amulet thing, but You said that she
Mhm.
couldn't let go of it, so I guess it's technically still on her hand.
Well, I mean, you just don't want to part with it. You want to
Oh,
keep it
okay.
on your person,
Then
sort
yeah,
of
she's probably
connected to you.
hiding it somewhere.
Did we identify that, by the way?
No, not yet.
Not exactly. No. And I don't know if I mean, actually, next make me a charisma save.
Okay.
Okay. You could have identified it if you wanted to, and I will PM it to you in just a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, didn't we spend a while identifying stuff before he woke up? Or
Yeah.
before Todd noticed he woke up?
Yeah, basically, right. You guys would have sort of finished that up at that point. But yeah.
We also have
Um,
the toaster. Let's not forget the toaster.
yeah. No, the toaster was another one of Morden's things. So most of the stuff that you got were Morden's things, to be fair.
All right.
So yeah, he sort of stands up and says, "Well, I'll walk you out then, and I'll see what's going on."
Thank you very much. I will make sure that I have somebody come and send you a document entailing details about our arrangement before the end of the day, I would assume. If not, next day.
Okay. Sounds good to me. He walks you guys downstairs to the door that it had sort of locked and sealed. And now that Worthless Snap seems to be out of the vault, it opens for him no problem, and he ushers you guys out. The vines outside sort of kind of without actually like going for you, Gad, but they definitely like remember their old beach ball and are sort of like
I've got a hand on my warhammer.
they're like vines can't look at anything, but they're definitely like eyeing you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But before we fully leave and he closes the door, I'm gonna like turn back and just quietly ask him. So that is a very interesting magical thing you have near your chest. And then I just walk off.
Okay. He looks. You kind of get like a bit of surprise from him, and then a little bit of like confusion as you walk off. But that's about it. Yeah. So you guys head off. Now that I'll say it's like coming up on like 5 in the morning.
Okay. Then Nick totally goes to find some like claw tea or something.
Okay. Yeah, there's some sort of morning, especially around like some of the building places, right, where they're putting up new buildings and trying to fix up all the damage. There are quite a few street vendors selling, caffeinated claw tea, and
Okay, she's gonna
you
buy
can
the
you can
big
procure some. It'll be like 2 copper, for
Okay.
a nice chunky, like the super max size,
Does
big
anybody-
gulp of claw tea.
Does anybody else want some?
No, good. Go ahead.
Fucking early as shit. You okay? All right, fine, whatever. So next on the list, you remember that friend you have, that dwarf blacksmith friend? He has a shop here, doesn't he?
Yeah, Biggs.
Do you think we might be able to stop by and see if you could possibly help us out for maybe in exchange for a favor or something like that for work on the ship?
I don't know if he'll be up yet.
Okay, we can go back to that later. Next, we have we got to go find Bramnick because last time I've heard he was over trying to talk to Gray Beach, and that was last we knew, apparently, right?
Well,
That's still on the material plane, is it not?
What?
yeah, the
Oh,
forest is on the material plane.
Oh, I thought the whole island was okay. So it's just
Nope.
the city. All right,
Yeah, it's
my
just
Oh, that takes so much more fucking magic. It would be
Yeah, that'd
frankly
be-
amazing.
It'd be something else. But
All right. I don't know what you guys want to do. Do you have any recommendations?
Well, some sleep would be nice.
Okay, you guys go do that. I'm gonna go talk to somebody.
I need to go find Domiel.
at this point, you guys are sort of getting ready to part ways. You see 4 or 5 Marines, Royal Marines, walking down one of the streets, sort of paralleling yours, headed out towards the docks, or where the docks were once at. Not so much anymore, but it is kind of an open space. And you see Soria in the middle, sort of walking with, seems to be walking with quite a purpose. At this point, you kind of look around up in the sky. You can see a small black dot. Seems to be an airship moving towards the city.
Oh,
Try and point out and say, "Isn't that a friend of yours?"
we did need to talk to her, did we not?
Hi, Saria. How you doing?
Oh, you run to catch up with her?
Yeah.
She looks back, still moving at a very, very brisk pace, and says, "About to meet some refugees. If you'd like to come along, it's up to you guys. But we need
Refugees. From where?
from the material plane.
Oh,
We
wow. I'm
are.
surprised they were able to come over here. Yeah, I'd love to come.
We weren't able to find many, but we're bringing back who we can."
Since they're heading over to the docks, and that's probably where Domiel is, I'm gonna go with.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to.
All right.
Yeah, may as well.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
All right. So as you guys kind of wait around, it takes another 20 minutes or so for the ship to actually get close to landing. And you see it's definitely one of the like trade galley styles, right? And as it sort of puts down, there's a large wooden brace that is shoved out by several of the construction workers. And you can see the ship is torn to shit, kind of like not quite as bad as what the Tempest Wolf had been, but it's definitely got holes in it. It's definitely not great. It's got a single sail, or a single mast, but it used to have two, very obviously. As the other one is sort of snapped in half and is missing the top part. As it lands, there are two gangplanks that are run out from the ship to the ground. One, sort of a thinner one, probably about 5 to 10 feet wide, and you can see a massive, what look like in poor health, women, children, old men, just pretty much most people that are not of fighting ability.
I
As they begin crawling down, sort of walking down the gangplank into the small crowd that's gathered. There are several Marines who seem to have ration bars that they're sort of passing out to the people as they come. And on the second gangplank, which is probably closer to like 20, maybe even 25 foot wide from the center, deck of the ship between the forecastle and aft castle. They're running down these large boxes, wooden crates, basically, on small, almost dollies or wheeled sleds with rope. Slowly lowering them down. As the individuals sort of come through, you see a hooded figure, sort of mixing with the crowd back and forth. And Soria sort of looks to you and says, "We need to quarantine them for some time. We're not sure 100% if we may have some traitors here. So be careful. I would like your help in finding anyone who could be."
I'm gonna pick the
does
6 worst-looking old people, women and children, and
Okay.
7 hit points from Ion Stone.
I'm going to do the same thing. And never mind, I can't have enough spell slots. Well, my bad. Anyways, does that hood look familiar? I mean, I'm not trying to like metagame, but there is a simple,
Sure. I mean, it's a pretty generic hooded cloak. Give me a perception check or
Okay.
investigation, actually, for this.
Okay, well that's worse.
Yeah, well. I mean, it could be a lot of people. You've seen drow wearing these sorts of cloaks in a lot of cases, trying to infiltrate areas. You've
Mm.
seen a lot of people wearing very similar garb, but you really can't get a read on who's below it or beneath it.
Okay,
Um,
so well, if we're
you
looking
also
for,
see the individuals slowly start to like try to break away from the crowd and go out behind the ship.
I'm going to try and follow them
Okay.
and just say, speaking of trailers, I'm gonna go investigate a little hunch. Be right back.
All right. Anyone else?
I'm not really sure anybody who's heading straight towards like the quarantine or camp area. I'm gonna go ahead and just stand like near the line and just cast mass healing word at third level.
Okay.
I'm just staring down everybody that gets off the ship.
You see this person too, and you see the sort of shifty behavior as they move away. However,
Dice.
okay, so the two of you sort of head around the bow of the ship here because the piece is coming down from the forecastle. Ta, as you're standing there, you see a semi-familiar sight. You see two individuals, one sort of with his arm over the other's shoulder, both wearing the tabard of the Wyvern Riders, the Silver Wyvern Riders of Kiokrati. The one that's sort of leaning on the other seems hurt significantly. An arm bandaged, the head bandaged, um, dirty, ratty, look like they haven't eaten in weeks. Um, the other looks a little bit better, and you would recognize them, I believe. The one carrying the other is Fuluin, one of the two riders that carried you guys out of the Northern Weir.
Oh.
The other one is Radlin, and they are slowly moving down very, very carefully moving down the gangplank to the
All right.
ground.
I'm gonna call Gad over and just point to them.
But as you do, hearing your voice, the one that Radlin, the more injured one, the one sort of staggering, looks up, and you can see sunken eyes, a gaunt face. I mean, he looks rough, right? Like he's not in a great situation, and he looks at you, sort of in disbelief for a second, and then a snarl crosses his face as he just spits on the ground, looking at you, and goes, "You, I remember you. I remember that shield. Fucking coward."
I'm gonna grab him by the fucking front of his armor. Excuse me.
As you move up, Fuluin sort of interposes between two of you and says, "Please, no, don't. He's been through a lot." And that's all you get as you sort of reach towards him. Do you want to keep going or no? Up to you.
I'll stand there in front of him.
Okay.
I'll be very nice and not grab the fucking front of his armor.
Okay.
Go, yeah.
He
so-
throws you see Radlin throw Fuluin out of the way, literally just pushing him, and he's sort of, you can see he's walking with a limp on his left leg, right? Like he's not in a great situation, but it seems like anger and rage have now reinvigorated him. And he-
Do I see this happening?
Oh, no, because you just went around the corner.
Okay.
As this is all happening, Dice, you can see said figure around the corner, along with you, Lucian. And I'll say, for the purposes of this, you catch a tinge of snake scales on the left hand.
All right. And yeah, I'm definitely going to try and very stealthily follow. And if I can get to a point where, like, if we can tailor, I want to try and do something, but what happens?
Yeah, I mean, Zuzi, at this point, what do you want to do?
Roll stealth.
Well, I had one idea, but if I didn't see that happening, then
I mean, you could go stealth versus perception.
well, then
Let's
stealth,
do it.
I suppose.
Well, I mean, you can see if you can see Dice coming up behind you. You're probably
then
pretty on guard at this
perception.
point. Yeah, so
Yeah,
roll me a perception
gotcha.
dice. Give me a stealth. All right.
Oh, there it is. Jeez. It's been a while.
Oh,
Damn.
close.
Just barely.
Lucian, you said you were going with, right?
Yep.
All right. Are you going sneakily, or are you just coming right out? Okay.
Click, click,
So-
click, click.
You feel like there's somebody, following you for a second, and all of a sudden you hear this clomp, 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 through sort of like the muddy ground as Lucian rounds the corner. You don't see Dice, however. He sort of sneaks up just into the shadow underneath the boat, in the scaffolding that they've put up to hold it.
All right, I'm gonna turn to him and be like, "Oh, hey, Lucian."
At this point, you all kind of recognize who each other are.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Told you I'd be back at some point.
Oh, wow.
Meanwhile,
I think at this point, Dice just kind of pops up in front of you. It says, "Long time no see. How you doing?"
Oh,
And she
hey.
does his handshake.
My arms are feeling back to normal now.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Nice.
so at this point, we'll smash cut to the other side of the boat, and you guys can kind of hear like some yelling, but you probably can't really make out exactly what they're saying. So at this point,
I am gonna
Um,
catch one of the injured, the really fucked up wyvern rider, and do a second level cure wounds.
he's the one that's yelling. I will point that out.
Oh yeah, because I know Todd had called me over, so I'm like, oh, those
Yeah,
people.
when he sees
I did.
you, he backs away from you almost instinctively. And he's still fixated on Ta, though.
Nix
Yeah.
will walk up and stand in front of Todd and kind of like glance back at him. What the fuck did you do?
Oh, this fool seems to think we're cowards for having come here.
Nah,
Oh, that's not.
I saw you. Oh, the heroes of the North, the saviors of the Weir. I saw your true colors while we were fighting. While the orcs slaughtered the women and children, and the beast and its minions tore us riders from our saddles.
All right, I'm
You
grabbing him. I'm
ran.
grabbing him. Like that's fucking. I'm grabbing him.
You can see he's now
no,
grinning.
Tom, seriously, don't. Not right here. I mean, this is not a good idea.
He continues, just almost spitting the words in your face in a way. I saw Neil swallowed whole by that dragon, and thousands more dropped dead from its shadowy breath. And I saw you, in that gleaming armor, with that big shield, running away like the coward you are.
God.
We're on the docks, right?
You're
Or
on
is
the
it-
land.
Oh no!
It's just
There's
over
no
there.
docks anymore.
All right. Fine.
At this point, I am gonna touch him on the back and just ask him, "Where's your wyvern?"
He immediately sort of
Fucking idiots.
he looks back at you. Dead. Like this one's going to be in a minute. I invoke my right of
me?
absolution.
Hold on, is he talking about me?
Now.
Like I'm actually
Yeah,
gonna
he's
look
looking at you.
I'm looking at Nix. Oh, fucking me! All right, I draw my fucking sword. Let's do this, Tiny.
Oh no, come on, no. At least, all right. If you guys want to fight, seriously, do it officially. I know there's an arena.
That's what he just did. He called for his right of absolution, which you see there are a couple of other wyvern riders. Not many. There are maybe 6 total, including these 2. And the other ones pull out their long swords and stab them into the ground in what is essentially a square, about 20 by 20 square on the ground. And everyone clears from it.
I want to knock him prone.
You're on
immediately.
one side and he's on the other, and he looks at you. And you can just see, like, there is something, like, he is not he looks like half a man, if that.
All right, Nix will
At this
slowly
point-
get out of the circle and just ready
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
spell in case
I'm gonna-
somebody else tries to jump in or something.
Okay.
I'm gonna back out of the circle too, but I'm also gonna cast Mass Cure Wounds on the surrounding wyvern riders.
Okay.
Yeah, literally. As soon
At
as he
this
said
point,
that,
we're rolling
grab the
initiative.
shield.
I'm just gonna do it this way because it's easier.
I don't get to surprise round because I wanted to like smack him immediately. Like as soon
No,
as he
he
said the
called it.
absolution thing.
All right.
fine.
Sorry. It was one of those things where they would have pulled you apart immediately.
Oh, well, that's lame. Who did that? I'm gonna kill them too. Don't hold me back. No, fucking really.
All right, that's just gonna help me later. I have a feeling. He looks at you and he reaches for what appears to be a holy symbol of Bahamut that's hanging from like a frayed. It looks like a deck rope that's been sort of attached to it just to hold on to it somehow. It's hanging around his neck. And he grabs onto it and he says to you, "I'll watch you die. I'll unmask the coward you are. Your life is forfeit or mine is. And at this point, I don't care which." And you feel this almost semi-mystical aura come over you. Like you're almost being harried by the spirit of something from right behind you. There's nothing there, but you get that feeling. At that point, he takes up a defensive stance and sort of waits for you. It's your turn.
All right, let's see. What do I want to do?
You don't know.
Oh, I'm just looking at all my wonderful magic spells that would burn into a fucking crisp.
One could hope.
He is.
No, I do still want to try and do a. I want to knock him prone with my shield, and then I'll do attack after that.
Sure.
So
you can
that's
try
going to
it.
be a athletics versus athletics or acrobatics.
Okay.
Oh, that's not very good. Hey,
Oh, you
that's
just get
worse.
him.
All right.
He is knocked down onto the ground. All right.
And with the probably last bit of my restraint, well, no, I guess I have to take the attacks, don't I? All right, no, yeah, I'm going to attack him because if I do that, I have to attack. All right, then I'm going to fucking just slash down on top of him, which I think I get advantage if he's prone, right?
Yes.
Okay. So there's 1.
That will hit.
There's 2.
That will not.
There's 3. Oh, damn.
That will not.
All right. And that's it. I don't suppose I could use movement to like put my foot on his chest, can I?
I mean, you could try to step on him or something like that, but
You could have spent a grapple or an attack to try and grapple him, which would have made him stuck in prone because he couldn't move. He couldn't spend the movement to stand up.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
it's fine.
Such is life. All right. He literally, like, you can see while his body looks like just withered almost. He flips himself up, ninja style, right, without actually touching the ground, pulling out what looks like a scimitar in one hand and a rapier in the other. He dodges around, tries to dodge around your shield and strike at you with said rapier. First, so 21.
Just
all right. And as you sort of move your shield to block the rapier, he swings in with his scimitar.
I'm going to cast shield.
Okay. He sort of glares at you, and then brings again, sort of falls a little bit into a defensive stance for the moment, just waiting for whatever it is that you're going to do next.
All right,
you're up.
I would do the same thing. Try to knock him prone and then hit him again.
Okay.
That's better.
All right. Not good enough.
Nice.
He literally, 10. As you sort of go out to bash him with with your shield, he basically wall runs up your shield and backflips back down into the same place that he had been.
All right,
just a moment ago.
At him.
All right. That will hit. That will hit.
There.
And that will hit. Okay,
Okay,
so
good.
that's 25, 39.
How
Okay.
much did you heal him for, Gad?
14.
Okay, that's gone.
All right. He looks back at you for a moment, and then you get this look across his face. He goes, "Let's see how you do with this." And he's gonna go ahead and, if I could find the sheet again, there we go. That helps. It will be that one. He's
Mm-hmm.
going to cast Hold Person on you.
Yeah.
DC 15, Wisdom save.
Is it wisdom? Yeah, wisdom save. Okay.
Yeah.
Haha.
Okay. You managed to shrug it off.
Whoa.
You're like
Uh,
crack
Wow.
my
that's the
neck
first
left.
Big
time that's
moves
ever
from Ta.
Yeah.
Wow. Holy crap.
Hey, he learned.
happened.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Wait,
I
hold on,
don't
hold
know
on.
that go that far. For the moment, I think he's then. No, he can't do that. Okay, interesting. He's gonna take that defensive stance again. You can see he's definitely like favoring his left side a little bit, but
Mhm.
he still seems pretty strong right now.
All right. Well, let's put him on the ground again. 16. Not great. Damn. All right.
Nope.
All right. And then I'll just slash him.
Okay. 26 will hit. 26 will hit. 19 will not. All right. He takes, as you sort of step back, recovering after your last strike, he is going to swing out with his rapier again. So, 21 to hit.
Nope.
24 to hit.
Shield again.
Okay. He's going to, no. All right, yeah. So he's going to go ahead and action surge.
All right.
And going to put out another hold person on you.
All right.
So it's a DC 15 wisdom save.
Oh no.
Nope. Not that time.
You feel your body sort of constrict in this awkward position after fending off the two attacks, and you can see this sort of almost sickening, bloodthirsty grin come across his face. You use spells, so I'll use spells. It comes to your turn. I believe you get. Let's see. I believe you get a save.
I think it would
Yep,
be
at the
he'd
end
get
of
the
your
save on
turn.
his turn,
Yep, and it's
So-
his turn. So you get a save at the end of your turn. So go ahead and.
but not on cast.
So
Right.
he already did the
Right,
wisdom save
he
on
already
cast.
cast it.
Yeah, I already failed the first save. So then it comes to my
and
turn.
and it's his turn now. It because there's the two people. He action surged for that, and it was the last thing that he could do. His turn. So I think you get to save now.
Okay. Then I'll do that. Ooh, no.
You can see he stops for a second as he's not even like running. He's just walking up to you. You can see he stops for a second, and only you can really hear this. But he just says, "For you, Urza." And then he begins striking. He swings once with the rapier, 24.
Yep, that is. Because since it's my turn, or since it has been my turn, my shield drops.
Yep. So that'll be 12 piercing plus 5 radiant, and he's going to go ahead and divine smite. For what looks like that'll be another 12. Let me go ahead and should be able to do that. So I don't know why it's not doing that. That's annoying. All right. He then swings with the scimitar speed, 27
That will hit.
for 13 and 5 radiant, and I'm gonna have to add 2 d8 to the end of this. So
All right.
another 10 on top of that. So 24, whatever all that is. He sort of looks at you. You can just
71.
see this savage grin across his face. Like he is completely he almost doesn't look human. He looks completely mad. It's your turn.
He's gone bug nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there. Oh, let's see. So I have to wait until the end of my turn to save. Can I use anything while I'm held like that?
You're basically
Like
paralyzed. If there's
second wind
any,
or anything?
I don't
That's a
think
good
so.
question.
Because I can use my bonus action to regain hit points. Like it says on your turn, you
Right.
can use the bonus action to regain hit points. Like I don't have to do anything.
Okay. I'll say abilities that don't require an attack or movement or anything like that. All right.
All right, so then
Sure.
I'll use second wind, which lets me regain hit points equal to 1d10 plus your fighter level. So 1d10 plus 11. All right, not bad.
All right. And then go ahead and make your save. Here's hoping for you. Nope.
Ooh, nope. All right.
All right. He swings out again.
Don't
So
forget.
it'll be 28 to
Yep.
hit.
That'll hit.
9 plus 4, and then a divine smite. This will be at 4th level. Hold on. So a total of 18 and 13. 31. And
Wait, hold on.
What? How'd you get 31 from that?
so his first
9
attack.
4 plus 12 plus 16. That's 41.
Oh, okay. I don't do math apparently.
Wait,
I
did
don't
do that
count
wrong?
money
Hang
every
on, did I
day.
do that
No, I
wrong?
thought it was 31. 9
No,
and 4 is 13. Plus 12.
25.
Yeah, okay, it is 41. My bad.
Yeah.
All right, and then he goes in with the rapier. Mind you, at this point, you can see like he's also kind
Oh,
of
after
low.
hang on. After the first attack, I went to 0, but then I went back up to 1 because of
Okay.
relentless endurance.
Okay.
I think that goes when you're reduced, not like at the end of their turn.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. This is gonna be a smite too. So this is gonna be doubled. Okay, that wasn't that bad. It's 12 and a lot.
29.
Can anybody
It's currently
is
42
anybody
damage.
who's watching this?
I am. I think everybody is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. 3 of us are at the back, but
Yeah, I mean,
we've
you
been
would
able
have
to
heard the
hear this by now.
commotion. You could definitely have come back around
All
at
right,
this
yeah.
point
So
to see
Yeah,
this.
this
Yeah.
is up front, like right behind Tobbit.
as this is happening, I think Dice jumps from the scaffolding he was hiding in. So there are 2 dice in front of you, Zuzia. But he says, anybody else hear that? And the dupe says, I think I do.
By the way, what is oh, never mind. It's too late for that.
Hmm?
I was gonna ask what inspiration gave you, like for dice or whatever.
You can add it to your attack roll or skill check, I think.
Oh, okay. I don't know if it went to saving throws or not.
No, unfortunately.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it sucks.
What are we hearing?
You guys are hearing the sound of fighting and
Okay, just making sure.
metal on metal and a lot of sort of hushed whispers. This does not look like for those of you able to see this, this does not look like the kind of, barroom brawls or arena fights that people have seen before. This just looks like something sad. Like
Yeah.
something that should not be.
So
Thanks,
that
DM.
said, Dice 1 goes, we should probably check it out. And Dice number 2 is in agreement.
Okay. You guys come around the corner to see as Top lifts his shield to block off the rapier attack, the final one, as it manages to slip just to the side of the shield and find a small piece of uncovered, or at least not covered in metal, armor sliding in right underneath the left shoulder. You can see a spurt of red as Ta falls backwards, his shield off to the side, and the once friend, now absolutely mad in a way, or at least very angry, and lost. Radlin walks up to him. At this
Is the
point,
circle dispersed yet?
no.
Yeah, by the way, Kai, why didn't you fucking say that instead of fucking PMing me on Discord? I forgot about Indomitable. Anyway, go ahead.
Yep. He sort of walks up and crouches down for a second. You sort of hear him almost make a theatrical sense out of it. Just a couple like sniffs. He goes, "Smells like a coward."
How far away from him?
You guys are coming rounding the outside of the ship. You guys are probably about 100 feet, I'd say. And at this point, he goes to kick Ta's helmet.
Nix runs.
Oh
in there.
no, yeah. I'm gonna as soon as Ta falls down and the circle is like, if they're not blocking me, I'm gonna go in.
What are you doing exactly? Because it really depends on what you're doing.
I'm readying a
Nix-
healing spell.
Okay. You can ready a healing spell. They're not going to stop you from doing that.
Nix had ready to spell, and she was gonna touch him and dimension. No, not Todd, the other dude, and dimension
Radlin?
door him. Yeah, like 20 feet away, like outside of the crowd.
So to do that, these two are in the center of the square. There are 4 Wyvern Riders, one at each corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
The swords are in the ground, but they're still holding on to them. You need to get across the roughly 10-foot-ish distance to actually touch him. And that means you're going to need to...
I'll mage hand one of the dude in the, one of them, and have the mage hand tap his left shoulder, and then I'll dart around on the right.
Okay, if you were holding the spell, that means you're going to lose the spell.
Can I kick him in the nuts?
I mean, yeah, sure. You can go with that. Or you could try to get somebody else to do it for you. Yes, you could try it.
Oh, yeah, I'll totally slip like one beggar to just fucking start like attacking the shit out of him. Like, I'll give him like 5 gold.
Make me a straight charisma check. 5 gold is one thing, but this is a pretty solemn thing, and I don't think that he'd want to be involved unless... He looks at you, looks at the gold, tosses it back.
Okay. I guess Nix will talk out her bracelet and say, "Can somebody distract one of these guards, please?"
All right, at this point, it's taking way too long. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Fair enough.
I've given you guys about a minute or so.
I was going to say, though,
Mm-hmm.
2 Nixes are going to run not into the field right now, anyways, but over to, like, up to the edge of the square. And
Okay.
if I see that Taz about to get his head kicked in when he's already down,
Mm-hmm.
dupe dice and regular dice are going to hop into the ring. And
Okay.
dupe dice is going to just try
Annoy
to
the
basically
shit out of
block
him.
his vision.
Yeah. Okay. So you can see the kick swing, right? It
Mhm.
doesn't look like it's a kick to crush the helmet. It looks like it's a kick to remove it.
Mm-hmm.
So based on that, what would you do?
I would like to. So like it's a kick upwards, right?
It's kind of like
knock the
to
helmet up.
catch under the chin and pop the helmet off.
Yeah.
You can see
so,
he's sort of doing the, if it walks like a, if it talks like a, if it smells like a, then it is. Sort of almost routine in a way, because you probably heard him say smells like a coward.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, in that case, what I would basically try and do is, I guess, go up and real dice, because he can actually touch things, is going to very smoothly like try and knock the kick aside, like kind of kick the kick and
Okay.
put him off his feet at footing, and then Duke Dice is going to just get in front of him to try and block his vision of Ta, like be defensive.
Quick
Okay.
question, actually, Robin. As
Yeah.
a cleric, would I have knowledge of like what his declaration of absolution means? Because that might actually affect what I
Make
do.
me a religion check. You know a little bit about this. It's a certain ability granted to certain followers of gods. There's a bunch of different kinds. There are those that heal. There are those that help the sick and wounded. Those that sort of spread the message. But there are those that are tasked with the dispensing of the evil around, sometimes by any means necessary. And this is an ability typically granted to them to make them more effective in doing that. What you're looking at essentially is vow of enmity, was what he said to Ta, which gave him advantage on every strike.
But like the thing of absolution, not the vow of enmity
Okay.
part, but like
Okay.
what is this
It is
ritual, this process?
You would know that is a typically until the either it is a trial by combat until either the person who declared it is quote unquote satisfied or typically dead.
And never mind, I will not hold that healing spell.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Dice, you're going in. I want you to roll me an initiative. I want to
Okay.
see if you can get there faster than he's doing what he's doing. Okay. I will roll him a perception check. I don't think he has much in the way of perception, so, and he's got a disadvantage on it anyway. So you managed to get past the guards using as you go. However, one of them does try to reach for you. One of them tries to reach for the dupe.
Mhm.
Make me a dexterity save. You should be pretty good at that. All right.
17,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You managed to dodge out of the way as you roll up to or run up to Radlin. Radlin kicks the helmet off as you come right into contact with him, and your dupe sort of covers his vision for the most part.
Mhm.
What do you want to do?
Dupe's leg, because I can do that with my major illusion,
Mhm.
kind of goes near Ta's face and just kind of creates a little cloud of darkness that covers it up.
Okay.
And I say, hey, to the guy, "Whoa, okay, I don't know who exactly you are, but let's try not to kill anyone, all right?"
He looks at you and says, "You interfere with my right?"
I don't know what that means, sir, but I do know that I would rather not have literally a friend of mine, but anyone really, be killed in the middle of a nonsense duel in the middle of a supposedly peaceful town.
Do I need to make a death save?
You do need to make a death save at this point because nobody's healed you. And
Yeah,
it's
nope.
probably been way too long. Okay. And his
Next
first
one.
death save.
Um,
At this point, I'm going to go ahead and roll a just because everybody's kind of interested. Okay. Roll me. I'm going to say for the purposes of this, roll me one more straight dexterity with disadvantage dice. And this is going to be for your dupe to get in the way so that people don't see what's going
16.
on. Okay. Okay. Cool. Got it. You hear a couple of gasps around, like the rest of you. Hear a couple gasps, but you don't see what it is, but you do see the helmet sort of rolling across the ground. But you do also see essentially Dice's dupe standing in Ta's head or around Ta. It's a weird situation, okay?
Yeah, the
I'm
dupe
doing
will
what I can with
shift
it.
to have like a little, I guess,
Yeah.
because it's nice, a little floating curtain over Toss' face. But
a small privacy curtain appears around Toss' head. It's like a
Yes.
shower curtain and a ring, but then it's covered at the top too.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll ask from the edge of the ring here. Paladin of Bahamut, is this a sort of justice, or is this some personal vendetta that you're
He looks over to
calling for
you.
this?
He doesn't seem to give a shit about you, Dice. I mean, he's annoyed by you. And you can kind of see him reaching forward to grab you, but as soon as Gad speaks, he looks over and he goes, I remember you too.
By the way, where was Sarga in all this? Just saying.
You're not sure.
Nix would probably want to run in and I don't know. I know this sounds weird, but she would like want to put her hand on Ta's face and like just kind of like feel around and then
Wow.
like, just look for the mouth and pour down a potion of healing.
Oh, okay.
Give me a dexterity check to get past the guards, right? Because there are still two guys ringing the place.
Sure. Oh, of course.
Ooh.
Okay. So, interesting. So you don't immediately get through. What happens is essentially one of the guards picks up the sword and trips you. You fall flat on your face. You're about even. Your head is about at where Ta's like stomach is, but about 5 feet away. You can try to crawl, or one of the other people can help, or whatever. It's up to you guys. But yeah. Before you go, what does anybody else want to do?
Can I use suggestion on the guy that's fighting Ta?
You can certainly try.
Do I need to roll another death save?
Please.
Not yet. We're getting there. That's why I'm getting through everybody else now.
I think I'll just lay here.
Well, I can't
Relax.
tell you, so
Yeah, nothing and nappy.
All right. Yeah, go ahead and roll it. What is your spell DC? It's in your spellcasting thing.
16.
16. Okay. Well, let's see. And it's a
Wisdom.
wisdom save. Okay. He does, in fact, resist
Jesus.
it. But you can see
Alright.
it stops him for just a second, right? Just like a second as he shrugs it off and looks back, glaring at Gad. He then sort of looks around for a second, trying to find who did that to him, too. But
I'm definitely hidden in the
yeah, no,
corner of
I
my
don't.
cloak.
I just assume he doesn't see you.
Yeah.
Because fucking rogues. All right, Lucian. Anything you want to do at this point?
How close am I?
I'll say at
I've
this
probably
point you
moved up.
moved up to like probably a total of 30, 35 feet away total. You're kind of in the crowd, right? Because there's like that 10-foot ring around them, and then you're just sort of trying to push through the crowd to get a better view.
Well, Gad's like fucking 6'10" frame just towering over the edge of the arena.
You know what?
I forgot a bit of the like pick a level thing. I just noticed it was on my
Oh,
screen,
it's
so I
fine.
just clicked it.
Well, you were using suggestions, slightly different, but
Okay,
fine.
I
Yeah.
have no idea why that was there. Oh wait, charm.
'cause
Oh, that
you
was
have both.
earlier when I accidentally clicked that, and I was like, "Where'd it go?" Okay, I
Okay,
understand
no
now.
worries. All right, no problems. All right, Lucian, what are you doing?
Well, I don't really know what's going on, so and I see this guy.
I mean, at this point,
Ah.
the crowd is thin enough, right? That and
Yeah.
most of them are women and children. You can see Ta on the ground. You can see this other person, who you would actually recognize from your time in the Northern Weir as well, as one of the
Maybe hold
Wyvern
off on that.
Riders. And you see Dice and another Dice. One of them apparently halfway through Ta's head, and the other one attempting to sort of stop Radlin. Like you can get a pretty good idea of what's going on here. And you've been able to kind of see vaguely what's happening for the last 30 or so feet.
Yeah, I'm
So the last round.
gonna.
There we go.
Yeah, Lucian. All right.
Oh no.
Oh,
Who's that on?
Oh no. I wanted to talk.
okay. Who's that on?
The one guy.
Okay.
Bad one.
Oof, well, he's got a pretty good dex save, but we'll find out. 16.
Oh no!
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. Let's see. So that's a total of 41, I want to say.
25 now, 41 later, I think.
Okay. So you can see as he's wreathed in flames, literally burning alive. He's not dead yet, but he begins to cry out.
Shortly after I start it, I'm going to cut it off.
Well, he's still going to take the 16 later. So
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Good to know. I just need to know. There's too many spells in this game, man. I can't keep track of them all. All right. So at this point, kind of going down the list, Gad, I think you took a shot earlier, right? For this round.
Yeah,
So Thunder,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want to do?
Oh no, I haven't done anything yet.
I'm going to try and pat Radlin down. Say, don't worry, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna be fine. And I'm going to cast Healing Word on top, first off.
Okay.
But I will be readying a Healing Word on him as well next turn. But that's next turn. Yeah, I'm just trying to pat him off.
Okie dokie.
Extinguish the flames.
Gad. All right. So Gad, you have a turn.
Well,
Here.
whatever just happened there. Fuck. God damn it, Tanaka.
What are you gonna do? Make a choice. Hurry up.
I'm going to fucking... God damn shit. Balls, motherfucker.
10.
Cast Healing Word at, 3rd level.
Okay.
On, Ta.
Okay.
And start looking around. Like, who the fuck just, like, directly, harmfully interfered with this?
Okay. You see Tanaka. Or you see Lucian just in the back. He just flipped his hands. He's bringing him down as the immolation spell goes off. But
And then I'm just gonna loudly ask, what are you doing?
I'm ending this.
okay. So that brings us to the end of that. Ta, you are alive. And you sort of blink to. You're looking through an illusion right now. Very hard to see. It's kind of murky.
You have 21 hit points.
But you immediately recognize that you do not have your helmet.
Oh shit.
It is, if you look around, you can kind of just see the silvery glint. Like as you're laying on your back, right? It's like in the direction, like above you, but you're on your back. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
About 7 feet away, kind of at the edge of the crowd. You see Dice attempting to pat out the individual who has been fighting you, and the flames are still going for sure. And
Well,
at this
coming
point,
to see him on fire.
yeah, you're coming to now. The reason I'm saying that is because it's not your initiative; it's his first.
Right.
But at least you now know what's going on, right?
Well, I'm gonna just real quick, just sort of ask in my head, be like, "Was that you?"
You
Who are you
don't get an
asking?
answer, but you hear a sly smile.
I
You're
have really
Oh.
good hearing.
No, like you
Amazing.
kind of get the idea, like it's like a feeling of almost laughing at you, but not in a malicious way.
It is amused by this, but does not take part.
Yeah, basically. Exactly. And at this point, Radlin in front of you, you see the flames flare up again here at this point, and he looks down at you and says, "It doesn't matter. I killed you." And his body turns to ash and falls to the ground.
Me and the dupes kind of look at each other.
At this point, How long does your major image last?
Oh,
I'm
it
just
lasts
curious.
for
Okay,
like.
I couldn't remember if it was a 1 minute or if it was like a 1 hour.
No, it's 10 minutes.
Okay, then you have plenty of time.
I'm gonna like hold my like left hand out and up, like not like desperately reaching for the helmet, just like gesturing for it. And
But
just
very
like,
obviously, like, let's come
What?
on, give it
Yeah,
to me.
There we
Yes.
go.
There we go.
You get your helmet.
Okay, I put it back on, and then I'll start to stand up.
Okay.
I'll look over at Dice and give him a nod and a quiet thanks that nobody else can hear. Then I'll walk up to the pile of ashes and go, well, it looks like I'm still standing.
You
then,
get
go
a
ahead.
lot of side eyes. All of you do from the Wyvern Riders.
Yeah, I was about to say, Nyx kind of watches them, sees what they do.
They leave their blades in the ground. There's nobody else in here other than you guys at the moment. And they're all sort of looking at each other. Seemingly like not confused, but like they were expecting something, right? Which didn't happen, and then they were expecting something else, which you get the look on their face like, well, I don't know, because whatever, I don't get. So what now? Sort of look on
See
most
him
of their
all kind of
faces.
look around.
This was
I'll,
meaningless.
I'll look around at them and I'm not listening again. I say, all right, listen up. This man started a fight without understanding what was going on. We did leave the material plane. I didn't like doing it, but we had a mission that we had to that we had to undertake, which most, let's say all of you, knew nothing about.
And at
run.
that point, you all of a sudden you can keep talking, but nobody can hear you, and you can't hear yourself. The silence spell is cast, and you see Soria bursting out of the crowd, grabs onto you by the shoulder, and pushes you. Like she's got way more force in her body than you would have thought, and you almost get knocked off balance as she pushes you all the way out of the crowd. The silence spell, by the way, is centered on you.
Yeah.
And is just pushing you all the way out. And she looks pissed. At this point, like the other Marines come in, and for the rest of you, as you just see this happen, there are a few other Marines that walk over to the Wyvern Riders and just say, "We'll sort it out later. We need to get these people help. Help us with that, and we need to get you help." That sort of thing. And then they turn to all of you and say, "Go fix that." And they're pointing at Ta. Basically, the Ta situation over there. And that's where we're going to take a 5-minute break.
We've got a code talk.
And,
I cracked my neck again, like fucking we're going again. All right.
You have now established the code Ta.
All right. So we're going to take a quick 5-minute break and then snap back.
I'm going to go make food.
That's fair.
Oh, Lucid. Tanaka, are you here? Tanaka? Damn it. All right.
Tanaka appears to be absent.
I
I
just saw
think
him
me
this
and
moment.
Dupe Me are just going to help try and clean up the ashes for the Dragon Riders.
Just like put it into a bin.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Here's your friend.
I'll have Dupe Me
No.
hold the dustpan with a mage hand, and
I'll
then
take
I'll
care
just...
of it. I'll ask one of the Wyvern Riders for like a fucking thing and just like wrap it.
Right. It's his own fault. I'm going to make food.
I mean, he's pre-cremated, so that's neat, I guess. Do they cremate? Oh, that might actually be bad. I don't know.
I do not know, but this was a duel started by a man, a facsimile of a man, a shell of a man, who'd rather try to find blame than possible allies.
Okay, I'm gonna go BRB for a second.
Oh, that was intense. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, you know what they say about the best laid plans of mice and men.
All right, I'm back. Oh
Welcome
man.
back.
Well, this was interesting already.
Yup. I was gonna try a thing and then fucking Murder hobo popped out.
I saw your mic go off there for a second, Todd,
Oh yeah, I mean, I thought it went great,
but
I'm
except
back
for
here.
like the 4 things I forgot that could have kept me conscious.
would have been useful. I do that all the time in Thunder's game, actually, legitimately.
Yep.
There's a couple of things that I could have used to. I don't, because I forget.
Hmm.
Well, I have my abilities to come back from the dead.
Yep.
I never do.
Also, Tanaka, nice.
I know. Yeah, now every time that I use this spell, I'm gonna think of that one scene from Full Metal Alchemist, where
Yeah, dude.
Mustang goes ham on fucking Lust.
Yep. I had a moment like that from our first campaign where I was like, "Fuck, this is awesome."
All right, so picking up where we left off, or
Yeah, we will.
Is there-
In just a second here. As soon as I know everybody's back. I know Evil's here. Busty?
Right.
All right, we'll just wait on Busty real quick. But yeah. Actually, we can jump back in because I don't think this is going to be so crazy yet. So at this point, Ty, you are being pushed back towards what looks like a newly landed skiff. It's of the larger variety, bigger than yours. But Soria seems to be making a beeline for that and is just pushing against your armored chest all the way there, and you're kind of like,
Yeah, I'll let her.
all right. You're kind of surprised. She can actually get quite a bit of force going. Maybe more than you would have expected out of, a sorceress. The rest of you, however, I would like a perception check as things sort of die down or whatever. And all of you can do it. Okay.
Oh,
Nice. All right.
Evil, you might want to turn off the disadvantage marker you have.
I honestly just
fine.
did that. I was like, oh, I need to turn that off.
No
And then you
worries.
said it, so that's funny. Did
All
you
right,
think the same for
so-
yourself too?
Oh no, mine just does that normally.
Okay.
Yeah, so Gad, Lucian, and all right. So all of you hear some murmuring, especially from the Wyvern Riders. You hear one of them say, "But he accepted." And then they broke the line. Like you can hear them like this is just a not done thing. And after a few seconds of murmuring back and forth, you hear at least one of them, and you're not sure which, even with the crazy perceptions from some of you. You hear they must actually be cowards to break the line.
I never actually
Wow.
crossed the line.
Yeah, but you still broke the line by casting a spell. It's sort of more of a ritualistic thing. Meanwhile, Dice, Lucian, and Gad, you guys see an older gentleman as Soria comes out and sort of begins pushing Ta away. You see him, he's stooped over with a cane. Looks very sickly. But he's wearing like this blue scarf. And you see one edge that's wrapped around his neck sort of lift up for a second and then fall back down.
Interesting. So, like he shrugged, or is this something under his scarf?
No, it almost looks like somebody tied a piece of fishing line and picked up that part of his scarf and then dropped it.
I have no idea what you just whispered, but
He
I'm going to
doesn't
investigate.
seem to have noticed it at all or anything like that. He almost looks like he's sleeping. Not really sleeping, but just very disoriented. And let's see, this will be
I'm going to have my dupe go over, just turn back to normal, go up to one of the guys and basically explain how, look, didn't mean to, I didn't know what it was.
I'm gonna hold my hand
I
up.
just
Hold
saw it.
on, dice. This
at
absolutely
that
should-
point, one of the Marines sort of turns around and says, "You're only making it worse. Go talk to Soria." And
I
then
don't
turns
know
back
how,
to-
but any of those, either of those things are, but okay.
Go find Tom, please. I will follow.
Okay. I mean, you can see Ta being pushed towards the thing. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's a dude in gleaming armor with a giant fucking shield just being manhandled by a tiny little dragonborn.
Oh, no, I don't actually follow. I just say I'm going to follow. But
Mhm.
I will ask the Wyvern Riders. You ride in the name of Bahamut, deity of dragon god of justice.
And justice was not served today. And they spit at your feet
No, it
and then
wasn't.
move off.
More people to kill.
I mean,
Dupes
not
just
really.
kind of shows up.
But
I
it
don't think it would have been
was
served either way, but
very short-sighted.
yeah, they're just not looking at you anymore. They've moved off through the crowd. They're
No,
doing
I'm not
their
looking
best
at
to
them either.
ignore
I'm
you.
just saying it as they pass by. I'm gonna go walk after
Okay.
Ta.
All right. Everybody else?
I'm going to drop dupes. I'm going to go investigate the old man.
Okay. As you look over, I mean, he looks at you quizzically, like he looks kind of like that old guy who doesn't really know where he is or maybe even who he is exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I mean, we've all seen the type or whatever. So yeah, give me an investigation, I guess, or an insight. Like, what do you want to know? What are you looking for?
I look over to the old man, and as I'm kind of looking him over, and say, "Excuse me, it's are you all right? Is there anything going on? I have a few questions, if you don't mind." As I'm looking over
He's
him.
sort of slow, like you know, he was facing away from you at this point. He slowly walks around with his cane and goes, "Oh, I'm fine. My grandkids are bound to show up eventually."
Mm-hmm. I see. Well, just in case, could you give me a description, just out of curiosity,
Of what?
of the grandkids that are going to show up eventually?
Oh, well, there's the little Timmy, and, well, he's missing a leg, but he's a great little boy. And Erica, and she's wants to be a doctor. And Clyde, and well, every family has a troublemaker, but he's a sweet kid. And, like, this just keeps going.
Mm-hmm. Right. As
did
he's
you do
doing
it?
so, I'm going to just, like, as he's distracted talking about his grandkids, I'm going to look under his scarf.
Okay. Go ahead and make me an investigation.
17.
Okay. So looking under his scarf, you don't see really anything initially,
Mm-hmm.
but as you sort of like put your hand on his shoulder, sort of in a chummy way, a comforting way, and use that as sort of your way in. You feel tiny little holes in the scarf. Just a couple. Um, you were a pirate at one point, right?
I was, yes.
You would
For a
recognize
few-
this from one of your previous or something similar anyway, from one of your previous employers, I guess, or friends, if you will.
Mhm.
They're definitely similar to like bird claw marks.
Hmm.
But you don't remember seeing any birds.
All right. I mentioned to him then, I see, yes. Are they coming with your bird?
Bird? What bird?
Well, didn't you have something with you? I should have
Oh,
sworn.
I can't Dan birds. Annoying
I
little
see.
pricks. Except for chicken. That tastes good. As long as it's kept away from me. Pecky little
Understood.
devils. And then he goes off on a tirade about chickens.
Gotcha. While he's doing that,
Probably for another 20 minutes or so.
I'm going to try and draw a line between the direction the scarf moved and the shoulder, and just see if I can spot anything up in the sky or anything
The
around.
line itself goes up over the ship.
All right.
But you're not really able to see anything up there at the moment.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's see. I'll leave it for now and say, all right, well, I hope your grandkids show up eventually. And of course, if there's anything else I can do for you, let me know. And I say that as
do you have any cider?
No. But
Well, that's
Let's
a
see.
shame. Everyone
oh.
should have a nice bit of cider, especially after a
yes.
long day's travel.
Oh, where did you come from?
Well, I believe that I was picked up somewhere near Imistral. But, well, I don't remember a whole lot of that. It's all been a bit of a blur. You would know Imistral is a port city somewhere.
All right.
Actually, just
Interesting.
south of Vilwin. So relatively close by to kind of the gate that they would have probably come through. And he then sort of slowly hobbles off towards what looks like a half-destroyed bench.
Okay. That was weird.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and just see. Has the ship already taken off at this point?
No, the door's open or whatever, and
Alright.
there are now several Marines sort of stationed around it, keeping people away.
Okay, well, I'm going to ignore them and leap through the doorway.
Okay, yeah, they let you pass. So you join everybody else inside of the ship.
I would assume so.
The silent spell is dropped, and Soria just looks at Utah and goes, "What the fuck was that? What did I say? Not 5 minutes before we got here."
In his defense, the paladin started.
Don't remember.
Not to say anything because there might be spies. I'll give
Look,
you that.
okay, hold on. Okay, that's as much as I was gonna say. They all deserve to know that they died for something, not necessarily what for, which is exactly as much as I was giving.
But if there were spies, then anyone could have put those pieces together if they knew what was there. If there was an enemy, say, who got that news out somehow, they would know that we have that plate, that tablet. And then this place becomes much
I'm gonna
less
stop
safe.
her. I'm gonna look around. I'm like, don't talk about it here.
She just glares at you like, really, bitch. that's what you get from her. She then sort of ignores you and turns to Zuzi and says, "I hope your journey wasn't too terrible."
It was all right.
Oh shit, you're here.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, hey.
Oh yeah, you didn't pay attention at all, did you? Yeah, there's just Zuzi sitting there inside. Everybody else knows and you don't.
Low wisdom, man. Low perception.
How are your arms?
They feel all right now. I just shouldn't have my arms ripped off again, probably.
Oh, I get to do enough patchwork job for what the situation was, anyways. I say, so I'm eating some illusory popcorn. It doesn't actually fill you up, but it does simulate the taste.
Fair enough.
It's the perfect diet.
So it's popcorn.
I mean, yeah, it is just kind of popcorn then.
I'll just I'll chuckle along with Zuzi and just point towards the little plate that connects my arm to my fucking torso right now. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, he had his arm on his back 2 hours ago.
It was closer to 6, but
Okay,
yeah, I mean,
last
yeah. Yep. At this point, Soria looks at all of you like you're fucking mad, walks out, calls in one of the guards and says to you, "Well, all this is over. I need to get you away from all of them, or else we're going to have no chance of controlling them. Besides, we have
I
business."
can control them.
Oh,
She
Nyx
looks
isn't
at
dead.
you.
I'm gonna
I
just
don't
say,
believe that.
I'll sort of walk up to her and be like, just make sure they know they died for something, because they lost their whole city.
She looks at you and says, "Once we know there are no spies there, sure. Until then, they have to believe this. It's the only way we keep ourselves safe."
Fine.
At this point, you guys take off towards the palace, eventually arriving in the garden outside the large clearing, in the sort of stonework clearing that connects the raised garden that overlooks the city to the Royal Library, a place that many of you have been many times. As you guys enter or exit the ship, Saria just essentially beelines, sort of waving you to follow towards the library and kind of her makeshift office um, in one of the small sort of alcove areas.
Wait, how long has it been since we left Haida initially before going to the Three Brothers? Has it been a week?
Not quite, but it's probably getting somewhat close.
Yeah.
I don't think Nyx was there for all of that. Once the whole battle dispersed, I think she would have ran off to go find the Archmaid.
Atris?
Yep.
Okay. Sure. So you're off trying to find Atris. Everybody else is here. I will get to that in just a minute. Do all you guys then go in, I assume? Or does anybody want to stay back?
Sure.
I'm leaving it up
Yeah,
to you
go on.
guys. All right.
I'm gonna
Go on.
stay back and try to look for Domiel.
Okay. I will get to that in a minute too, then. So as you guys kind of filter in, for lack of a better term, you run into you see a large table. It's got a map splayed out on it. There are tons of like little pins in it, string running across it to denote various movements of people and things like that. She sort of beckons you over, Zuzia, and says, "So, I suppose if we go from here, what have you learned?" And I'll show you guys the semi-ish new map, or at least the one on the table. Hold on here. Man, I need a stopover page. There we go.
Oh, I haven't seen this in a while.
Mhm. Yup. So there are various bits and pieces that have been marked out and things like that. But Soria looks to you, Zuzi, and says, "So, what did you find?"
Well, I captured an orc back in Luthadel, and he told me about this orc encampment that's just north of the city. It's called Glug, and he was mentioning some blue-skinned lady who has black hair who recently left. But the main thing about that camp is that it's now controlled by some orc named Call, and his symbol for his tribe is a flaming skull.
Interesting. And you see her writing down in what looks like a large number of notebooks. Sort of each one dedicated to a specific place. She begins writing down notes of what you said.
You said 10 miles?
What's that?
What distance did she say? 10 miles?
It's just north of it, a ways.
Quick question. I know I'm not there, but like out of character,
30 miles or so.
did we ever find the skull of Nyx or whatever on the ship?
Bramnik,
Bramnik's carrying it.
Oh, is he carrying it? Okay.
Yup.
Oh, I thought you said it was on the ship.
he's got it somewhere.
Okay.
So sorry. He's also supplying and sending raiders to the Feywild.
I was afraid of that. Seems that they're not done yet.
Wait, how are they getting to the Feywild?
From my
Yeah.
understanding, once the city teleported, the portal stayed behind. The portals
Oh.
are fixed in place, but the city was essentially dropped through. If I remember correctly, I heard word that they then moved the city within the Feywild somehow. That is beyond me. But there is still access.
And that's Elder Rest, right? Not the Citadel.
That's, well, where Elder Rest used to be.
Well, yeah, well, okay.
That's fair. Yep. So that's
Right.
at Elder Rest. Anything else? Zuzia?
There is one other major thing happening in Luthadel right now. It's the main reason why I had to leave and come find you, all of you really, is because of the 3 Drow royal families. They've organized into houses and are making the population into their slaves and forcing them to build rich and fancy homes on top of the ruins of the city.
Oh, goody.
Do you know which families? There are many.
Oh, I
You can put them in if you want, because like
They're
they're
crazy words.
impronounceable. It's fine. I totally get it.
It
It's like
happens.
it's Twitch
I
names
don't know
all
how I'm
over
gonna do
again.
this.
It happens.
Did
You know,
you
just
actually use Tolkienese to make a last name?
What's that?
just sound
Did
it
you
out.
actually use Tolkienese to make a last name?
Yeah.
Sound it
Um,
out. Use just like hooked on phonics. You'll be fine.
Oh,
yeah. Zuzan Tar In Tumba and Neem Shi Realm.
Could you use it in a sentence, please?
And she scratches it down on a piece of paper really quick for everyone.
Say again
Okay.
3 times fast.
Zuvnun and Tariantumba. In
Nem
Nimri.
shrill.
And everyone says it differently.
Yep. That's the beauty of made up words.
And as you say Tariantumba, Dice just goes, fuck.
Soria takes notice of that, but doesn't really ask at this point. She looks back at all of you and says, well, this works well with some of the other information I've gotten. My understanding is the orcs near, or that are inhabiting the oddly named encampment Glug, belong to the Cinder Skull tribe.
Orcs aren't known for their great naming abilities.
No. I find it interesting that you're named
I loved
Tom.
the name.
Anyway,
Yeah.
from what I know, there have been quite a bit of activity there. If we want, well, regardless, they're a problem. They've been sending out black talons. It seems that the leaders have changed within the greater orc groups, and the Cinder Skulls now control them. They're sending out black talons into the forest, and I presume to Luthadel. Perhaps one of you can. Well, perhaps we'll find out more later. Meanwhile, I've had a lot of reports from our informants, shall we say, that the dragon that so easily destroyed Kyokrati has been flying over towards the central mountains between Tifton and the mountain range itself along that border for quite some time, leaving Luthadel and then returning periodically. There seems to be some kind of search there, and I'm not sure for what, but it can only be bad things, as far as I'm concerned.
I wonder if they're searching for this dot.
Could be.
I bet they're
It's
searching
not.
for that thing that Gad wanted to go get.
Yep.
Maybe.
Before we
That
went to
knew
the Feywild.
nothing about. We had no information.
Nope, you didn't. That's what made it such a gamble. All right. And then lastly, and unfortunately a little closer to home, Imistral, just south of Vilwyn. One of the other cities that we're trying to use as a bastion, a foothold in our counterattack back at the enemy, has gone silent. There was a regular flow of goods and trade between the two places, and plenty of troops. But that seems to have fallen silent. There are some small farming towns and the like just north of there that we've only gotten back a very small amount of word, but something about undead, about skeletons rising in the night. Honestly, I'm not sure what to do. But the fact is, the longer we stay here and don't take the fight to them, the less chance we'll have at winning.
I agree.
So, we do know of a few other small incursions here and there. There is the ruins of Kiokrati itself have been picked clean by these black shadow wyvern that apparently destroyed the city and many of the riders. Many of the riders themselves see us as coming here in a fight that we could not win, at least not at the time, as cowardice. And they might be right. But the fact is, we need to
They'll get over it.
we need to win back the hearts and minds. And we need to start dealing damage to them. Every day they grow stronger. I've also learned a few other things. I've been spending a lot of time in my vault with that crystal that you brought back, the one that you said was called Thulv's. It's a hungry spirit,
Yeah, that sounds right.
ravenous. I have done my best to stay away from it as much as I possibly can while studying, but the blade itself is also tied in somehow. From my understanding, the essence of these creatures is housed within this gem or crystal. By defeating their physical bodies, they then recede into the gem until such time as it is safe or able to emerge again. Thankfully, this has not happened yet. We need more of them.
Can we destroy the gems?
There is a way. However,
Which I'm assuming isn't just smash it.
no, that won't work. Even throwing them in lava,
No.
I imagined that perhaps we could throw it into Irilith, the great volcano to the south, but, well, it won't help.
Will we meet a guide on the way who lives in the mountains and he's mostly naked? Well, the talks about this.
Perhaps. Regardless, what I do know is that dagger is used. Well, it's part of a 3-item set. One hidden, well, on each of the 3 planes, the Feywild, the Shadowfell, and the Material. I'm not sure which ones go where, 100%, but there is one that takes life, one that gives, and one that contains all of the knowledge of the world.
Neat.
The fact is, if we can find a way to sever the threads that connect these gems to the weave, they seem to be very strongly connected somehow, through magic most likely. But if we can find a way to sever those, take the life, I believe we get a chance then. Destroy them.
Anti-magic containment should be able. Anti-magic containment should be able to at least conceal them for a while.
That's the idea. That's why they sit in my vault. It should be nearly impossible. I'd never say impossible anymore. But it should be nearly impossible to find, and it's very well guarded. However, we need more of them. We need to destroy each one, and I don't have the tools to do it yet, and I don't know exactly where they are. But I will be working on that, and keep an ear out, or an eye, or whatever. We need to find
See
these
if you
items.
can figure out where they are by the time we get our ship ready. Because I don't know about any of you, but I would be more than happy to go back to solid ground after all this time.
Your ship will take months. There may not be anyone left in months, much less weeks.
I'm aware. Well, I could sort us out some transportation, I suppose, but that's besides the point. For now, though, I am still rather eager to get myself back on solid ground, or at least open water instead of open air.
All right. So at this point, she sort of steps away and says, I'll let you confer. I have a meeting to get to. I'll rejoin you this evening if that would be acceptable. We can talk over whatever you decide. And sort of about faces and walks out.
Alright.
At this point, we'll smash cut really quickly to Gad looking for Domiel.
If I see,
And you find him pretty quickly. He's you can see sort of an area where ships are currently being constructed along with yours. It's sort of the same sort of scaffolding that sort of creates like a U shape, right, to hold the ship in place on a flat surface. And you can kind of see him running back and forth, directing people to do certain things and all that, sort of taking up command.
yeah, I'll just call to him, friend Domio, when you have time, and I'll just ask him where
He'll-
his office is.
Yeah, he turns around and recognizes you, then calls back to a large man that you don't really know, but a very, very large man. Think Armstrong from Full Metal. Sort of guy, but he's got hair. He sort of looks, he calls out to him, says, Barter, take over. I have some business. And then runs off to you. I have time now, if that helps.
Yes, it's there's one thing that's not quite important, but the other is I am running out of time.
I understand. I've done some research. However, I think our best bet right now is, well, I happen to remember the gem on Maldazar's neck. It always emanated a warm glow and it never seemed to stop. If we could find something like that, we could perhaps encase it so as not to be dangerous to you, and use it as at least a temporary power source. I'm sure that there's a better way to do it, but that's been my thought. It'll take some prep time, but we could do something along those lines, I think.
I had a similar idea when we first appraised the gem.
Very well. Come to me tomorrow. It will take at least a week to encase this properly in such a way as to be useful to you. But at the end of that week, or I might even be able to push it to 5 days. I don't know. But by the end of that, we should have something.
Thank you. In the meantime, if there's anything I could do to help.
Make more people appear. I need more bodies to work. It's so much. Soria demands so much. She's constantly wanting more. And I understand it. We are sorely undergunned, undermanned. But she's a bit of a slave driver, really, when it gets down to it.
You always have to have a few in a war. Although
That's fair.
sometimes it feels more like an extermination.
Well, I haven't been to the material, but from what I've heard from the survivors, you're correct.
It is not good. Take care, Domil.
Aye, likewise. And he
And-
sort of ducks back to directing traffic and getting stuff done.
I'm gonna slowly walk my ass back to the palace, and on the way out, I'm gonna...
Trying to conserve energy.
Yup! I'm gonna cast Mass Healing Word on, like, the really, really hurt people, like, in the triage tents.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
and then, if there's, like, any, like, loose laying raw materials, I'm gonna just use both my channel divinities to, make, Artisan's Blessing, like, just like children's toys. And just leave them like, in a pile somewhere.
Okay. So that takes you the better part of an hour total to make it back. But you do, in fact, make it back to the palace. You find a skiff partway through that is ferrying materials across the island, and the Marine recognizes you and says that he'd drop you off at the palace. So you get dropped off about 45 minutes to an hour later. Total. All right. Next.
Cool.
You're off to see Atris. Yes?
Yep.
Okay. You ask around a little bit, and he is apparently in what was his old magic academy, which has since seen some damage, but is mostly still standing. As you make your way there, it's much as you remember. Just, I mean, there are sort of braces on some walls, some timbers put up to hold everything together. But as you approach, the academy itself looks mostly fine. It's spotless of dirt, but there are some broken windows and things. No guards out front. As you sort of walk through the doors, you can see Atris.
Oh wait, is that receptionist lady behind the desk there?
No, not currently.
Oh shit.
She probably
but
died in the fucking assault.
Might have. But you can see Atris sort of alone in his academy, in the sort of the grand hall that sort of goes up to, the various different places like the libraries and the classrooms and things. Essentially doing that scene from Fantasia with a ton of brooms just sort of sweeping up everything. Yeah. And as you sort of open the doors, you hear like a creak, an uncharacteristic creak of wood and metal on metal as the hinges open. And he looks over to you and says, "Ah, Nyx. Surprising to see you."
She'll curtsy and say Archmage.
What brings you to my academy today?
I guess she'll like walk over to him and start saying, "Well, it appears as though something big will be happening. I have put some plans in motion. Hopefully, they will come to fruition in time. But right now, I'm focusing on trying to get an edge. Anything I can possibly get to further our cause and pretty much help us out if we need it. And I was just wondering if you had an ace up your sleeve or something you could teach me or anything that would truly be a benefit to my compatriots and I without hindering the efforts in Dragon's Mouth currently."
I understand. Well, I'm not sure if there's something I can teach you, but, well, perhaps. No. Yes. Okay. I had a friend. He was residing in Imistrov recently, and he had this curious bauble. Now, I find that, given correct information, anyone can make a plan for anything, and things get easier, better, in general. Um, he had this strange, sort of glowing sphere uh, that he would carry around all the time, and I'd seen him do some very impressive magics with it, and it seemed to be able to extract information from individuals. How, I admit I never asked, but considering the situation right now, I feel that could help you. Unfortunately, I myself cannot go. Um, I do, perhaps, and you see him sort of like wander over to what looks like a large uh, row of chests, um, just beyond what looks like a sliding sort of panel door that has a lock on it, but it's not currently locked. And he digs around in there and pulls out three vials of green liquid and says, "These are the last that I have. I hope they serve you well." And hands you two regular potions of healing and one greater. Unfortunately,
Uh,
this is all I can do.
no, this truly does help tremendously. The information you've given me is beyond helpful. Those could truly be great tools for us. So thank you very much, Archmage. I truly appreciate it. I will not take up any more of your time.
Well, good, because if you spent one more minute here, I'd have you start cleaning. This place is a mess. He
Oh
sort
no,
of
you wouldn't want
grumbles
me to
and
do that anymore. I'm
he
no
starts
longer
cleaning.
a warlock. I've chosen a different path, and it has a lot to do with fire. So you probably don't want me in here.
Really? That's very interesting. And then you can see him sort of getting lost in thought as the brooms sweep the exact same spot over and over and over. As he's completely lost. Basically, he's not paying attention anymore, and he's lost in thought at this point.
As she walks out, she'll point at the floor and be like, "You missed a spot," and then she'll.
What? Oh, yes. And you can see he starts directing brooms that way as you close the door. All right. You also, I mean, it's a relatively quick exchange. You would show up just before Gad. All of you sort of show up, I would say, about the time Soria, about 5 minutes after Soria leaves. And so this time is yours.
Are there like banks here?
There was, yes.
Oh, was okay. Well, I was
mean,
just wondering about.
there is. I mean, when we say were there banks, there was a like a proper like large bank of Dragon's Mouth sort of thing. But after the attack, they lost their building. From what you could have easily found out if you asked around, and I'll just assume for the sake of this that you did. They are currently using a part of the royal treasury area for their own bank storage. So they do have a bank, but it's run out of a much smaller building now, and the money is not kept on site.
Okay. I was just running through all the situations that could occur when we go back to the material plane in my head, and I'm like, do we really want 21,980 gold in our bag?
It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah. Especially when all of it's going to be going to the ship, so.
At least most of it, yeah.
Well, most of it, yeah. So I was thinking about just like trying to find a place where I can put 20,000 gold. After we do like preparations for going over, like not immediately, just like before we actually leave this plane.
Yep, no worries. Yeah, if you got anything else. So, yeah, you guys have this time to figure out. I mean, I assume that that Nyx and Gad are sort of brought up to speed on the situation. Also, there is a handout in handouts with the stuff that Soria said, at least. And you guys can. This is all on you guys now. If you have any questions for me, feel free to ask. But it's pretty out there.
So what you guys are saying is that there's a dragon hanging out in Luthadel going back and forth to Trifton. There's a bunch of orcs in Glug. Fucking weird ass name. And I learned of some guy that might have some magical items over in Imistril while Imistril is being occupied right now. I'm not sure by who. Who did you guys say it was? Anybody?
Doesn't say.
Just
nobody's 100% sure. It's more of it went quiet.
Okay. And so primarily our goals right now are what? Saria said we needed bodies. I could probably take care of that.
No. Domiel said that he just
people, I'm
needed warm
sorry.
bodies to help build stuff.
What if they're like warm but like turning cold? Is that good or
Just bodies.
You get the feeling like maybe that won't work quite as well.
Okay.
I don't know. He
Like,
could be
give
a
him
necromancer.
Domiel
bodies
is not a
for-
necromancer, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, I mean, then
I
he could
give him
use just
5
bodies.
bodies for about an hour.
Oh, are you offering your services for a amount of coin per hour?
No, that's how long the spell lasts.
Oh, okay.
I remember way back. I don't know how I remember this, but after the years in the abyss, you kind of like hold on to the other memories. Wasn't there, if I remember right, oh shit, I just lost it. Oh, wasn't there a bunch of like inhabitants on an island near the Three Brothers? Nobody knows much about it other than it's inhabited by a bunch of people.
Well, we gave him a rundown of what was going on. Are you talking about the place where we fought the
On the plane
dream
of
thing?
air?
No, in the material thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Are you talking
There
about
was
the island where we were, like, fought the dream thing? Because there was like 2 people left alive. One of whom was a snake dude who we then had to go fight a bunch of yellow.
Oh, so you already went to the island with all the people and stuff, the like villages and things like that?
No, that was the one, I think. Unless there was another one, which I don't remember.
There was okay.
Oh wait,
so
no,
there
this
was-
is after the abyss. I'm sorry, this is after the abyss. My bad. This is when we first got here.
Okay.
So it
yeah.
was-
So if it's a plane, if it's an
Oh.
island in the plane of air, you're probably
Yeah.
talking about either the island of orcs that is sort of lost to time. Nobody's really sure where they are. There's
No.
also the core home island, and then the one with a lot of people is the Three Brothers itself. And
Well, this was like
Haida.
villages. They didn't really know who it was or what they were, other than that they were a bunch of villages populated by somebody. I don't remember any specifics.
I think you're confusing like 3 different things at once.
Yeah. Doesn't help that we have 3 islands that are called the brothers and 3 islands that are called the sisters.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
one of the islands, it's like it's got like a little tower and a bunch of like little dudes drawn on it. I don't know. Never mind.
Hold on. This one.
Are you talking about the sisters with the volcano, or are you talking about the brothers in the air?
I'm not sure. It's
Here are all the
that
air
one.
islands that I gave
That
you.
one.
Oh, this one here? Claw Island?
Whoop! I just hit the back button.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, Claw Island exists as well. It's just not a place anybody ever goes.
Let's see. Oh no, it's the island that's next to the Three Brothers.
Oh yeah, okay, so the tower.
Yeah, that thing.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
talked about me going there.
I heard there was like tons of people there, but nobody really went there.
No,
and
no, no,
shit.
no.
No, it
There
wasn't people. It was a
were-
tower.
There was a tower there, and a bunch of treasure hunters went into it, and not many, if any, have ever come back.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Nobody's sure 100% why it's there, although there is sort of a old wives' tale that it's the reason that this place is in the plane of air. whatever that means.
Okay, new info.
No, I told you that last time.
Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, no worries. All right.
So other than needing people, what else are our prime objectives here? What did Sorio need from us?
Basically, to go to the material plane and start fucking shit up.
Save the world again.
Yeah, that.
So, all right, we need to take a choice between where we need to go then. We could go to Luthado where the dragon is being spotted, Trifton where the dragon visits, Glug, go smash up some orcs, or Emistral, and we could mess things up and potentially find another magical item that might help us.
I would say Emistral because So, do we have a teleport spell or anything? Can we do that kind of thing?
Yeah, I've
Okay.
got a teleportation circle, I believe.
Mhm.
Lucian does as well.
All right, so not as good then for me at least, but I was going to say I can put us. I have an item from a place that can put us somewhere on the material plane. I don't know exactly where, but from that somewhere, I know it can get to Imistral. And potentially have some backup. It's an important part, though, too.
Oh, well, if that's the factor, then yeah, how reliable is this?
Well, considering, she kinda saved me more times than I can count, and also she's probably doing fine on the material plane. I'd say it's pretty reliable. Don't know how her crew is doing, but
And you have a means of contacting them once we get there?
well, I have this, and I'll pull out in a small pouch that I've been keeping sort of on my waist, a belaying pin, since it was from an old ship. Nautical ship, not an airship. This is a bit of an artifact of mine. So is this, and I pull out a old key, kept very carefully clean and out of harm's way for quite a while. And I mentioned to you that with both of these, we should be able to, with a teleportation spell or similar, find our way over to the location. It's not exactly solid ground, but still.
Okay.
So when we're
Well-
in Imistro, you can teleport us with the circle over to Luthadel.
Yeah, or even wait, no, Keelkrati's not in the plane, right?
Well,
It's-
it's just destroyed.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright,
it
never mind.
didn't plane
So the-
shift. It's just ash.
Gotcha.
Basically, I believe, if I remember correctly, and Tanaka, you can verify this or not, because I remember we talked about this. Teleportation circles do work cross-planar, I think.
No, they do not.
Okay, they don't. Okay, so you guys have to get there
Yeah.
and then get out. You would also know that there is at least one portal through to Vilwyn, which you guys could take. You took it to get here.
Oh, well, yeah, if that's right next door, then yeah, by all means. we
I mean,
follow
it's
this.
out in the middle of the sky,
Yeah, that's the
admittedly, and then it's over the water afterwards, but
Mm.
it does drop you in Vilwyn.
As long as the skiff
Yeah.
is watertight, I mean, yeah.
It'll drop us where?
Vilwyn.
Yeah,
Which
just north of it,
is...
just north of Imistro on the west coast.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Because if we can get a teleportation scroll, shouldn't be that hard with our resources. I can basically take us to a ship that is probably somewhere on the plane. Don't know quite where, but I can take us to a ship with trusted crew, hopefully. And hopefully we can get them to take us at least to the mainland near Imistral.
All right. Sounds like a good idea. Before we go, we need to talk about one more thing. What we would like Whistle Snap?
Whistle Snap, yeah.
What we want him to enchant for the ship. Does anybody have any ideas?
Figured you had something in
So-
mind since you wanted to talk to him.
I will
Yeah,
point
I
out-
do. I'm asking everybody else what they have in mind first.
I don't even remember what all the stuff we need for the ship.
Am I there
So
yet?
whatever you want.
Well, we could do many things. I mean, we could have some sort of permanent alarm enchantment on the ship. We could have an anti-magic enchantment, maybe, or some sort of like helpful protective shell around our soon to
So yeah,
be
just give
brig.
it like a permanent like magic shield, like basically mage armor, or make it fireproof.
Okay.
Well, I can make it fire resistant with a treated lumber.
Yeah, we have the
Okay.
treated lumber for
Fair
most of the important bits.
I would also like to point out, Thunder, you're correct, except it's a plane shift spell, not a teleport.
Ah, fair enough.
Teleport only works in the same plane as well.
In that case,
So in that case, you could do it with a teleport if you were on the material plane, or you can try it with a plane shift spell, which will make it slightly harder just because it's a little bit less precise in a way, but it's still totally doable.
Yeah, would having an associated object improve our chances at all, or is it
Yes.
just okay? Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
it
have
will. It just there's always a non-zero chance of it fucking up Royal. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
fair enough, but yeah, with a plane shift, I can get us to a ship that will hopefully not be on the other side of the world, but if we can deal. And then from there we can sail to Imistral with some backup, and hopefully things work out.
Sure. I mean, we do. I mean, does anybody else have any other options? Any other ideas at all?
Well, I
Nobody.
mean, time is kind
Anything?
of the essence.
Am I there yet?
So if they're
Yeah,
on the
you're,
other side of the
you've been
world-
here for a little while.
Okay.
All right,
If
I'll
we're
write
looking
down
for
these two enchantments.
allies that are also
What?
craftsmen, I would like to see if we could go to my home.
Check PMs, yeah. That's exactly
Where
I
did
was going.
you go?
To
Huh.
Kai.
In Thunder
I don't think
Forge.
you grew up, but still.
All right, I think we have one more major thing that we need to do before we take off, though, and that's meet your blacksmith buddy, Ta. We need to see what he can do to help us.
Sure. We also should stash gold after we get what we need here. We should stash like 20k gold. So if something happens to the bag, we don't lose all that because we need to be able to pay for our ship.
Well,
Okay.
perhaps would your friend be able to stash it?
Well, there's places we can put it like up in the palace. It sounds like.
Oh, good call.
So I would also point out, and this would be very apparent to you, Ta, and to the rest of you too. You guys have paid for the initial framing,
Mhm.
right? Not any of the other stuff. So if you want work to begin there, you either need to pay for it now, which might not necessarily be the best choice. I don't know. It's up to you. The other option is to get a surrogate, somebody who can handle your finances for you while you're away, and you know that they'll pay out what needs to go out and check everything.
Yeah, that's
The
actually what I was
best
going to check. I was going to check with Soria if something like that could be worked out with her. Just like, hey, if they ask for money for the airship, just give it to them.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that when we get to dinner later. But yeah, you guys have by now it's probably like 10 in the morning after all the craziness, maybe 11 at the latest. So you guys could head out to Biggs if you wanted to.
All right.
Yeah, you walk up and you can see a large wagon outside pulled by two underfed donkeys with large pieces of what looks like metal building materials, like rebar sort of style, or I-beams and things like that, sort of set into the cart. And there is a human female who seems to be jumping up onto the cart to drive it away. As you walk in, you can see there's a lot of smoke, right? I mean, the bellows are running the whole forge is running really hot. There's a lot of fuel on the fire. You can barely see the diminutive figure of Biggs banging away on what looks like a large piece of structural steel towards the back of his shop. He doesn't recognize you immediately, primarily because of all the freaking smoke. He's covered in it, in soot and ash. but you can see he is hard at work.
I'm gonna walk in and say, I always heard that dwarves were a hardworking folk, but I can see that's a lie.
You hear bang, bang, hit. He looks over at you and then throws the hammer at you. Not really trying to hit you or whatever, but it just sort of lands in the wall. And he goes, "Aye, your type are even worse."
Yeah, we just sit around waiting for a fight. Hey, sounds like we're gonna be going to the material plane. I didn't know if I'm gonna turn to Nick's. What you want for the ship or just for right now stuff?
Just whatever he can manage, really. I mean, like we're looking for anything here.
So we're looking for some help either with our impending journey into the material plane, or if you wanted to help out with our shiny new airship that's being built.
I'm already working on her.
Oh well, there you go.
See all that structural steel out there? She's yours.
Yeah, I wondered about that.
Ooh.
Well, then
Just
we're in
look
good
at the
hands.
shipment. Yeah. But if what you need is gear, I can do that too. Still have plenty left over.
Does anybody in here need anything?
I could technically use an upgrade, but it'll only boost my AC by like maybe 1.
And it would take some specialized work to add to your body if that's what you're going for.
Yep. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that'll take some
pass.
time. It'll take some time. Okay.
Oh, by the way, here you go.
Hmm? Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I
you
guess-
look. I guess your armor would still be a little dinged and scuffed. You haven't really gotten the chance to polish out.
Covered with soot still.
Yep. And now it's even more covered in soot because the forge. I mean, you just see these black specks of ash sort of filling the air. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Unless you got some sort of insane spear back there, I don't think I need much. So I've still got trusty orcs there here, and I'll sort of pat that on my side.
Fair enough.
I know this sounds weird, but I could use a saber.
He sets down the piece of steel he was working on, puts it back into the coals to heat up. Sort of walks out from behind the large pit forge towards the counter, reaching underneath. It's not a glass counter, but he pulls out what looks like a he pulls out a short rapier and an actual like full length rapier. Sabers, yes, say okay.
Oh, you might want to show him your quarterstaff that you got.
Oh,
to make something out of that.
right. Yeah, here. And yeah, she'll present the quarterstaff and say, is there anything you could do with this?
Basically, she can
says-
like
yeah.
put fire into it, and it makes it better, or what? I for whatever it was, something like
It
that.
enhances many magical properties that you cast into it. Well, primarily fire, but yeah, it's magical. But yeah, is there anything you could do to it to like make it hurt things better?
Or like
Well,
a handle for
physically-
a saber or something.
I
Or
could do
yeah,
some,
just-
I could do many of these things. It would take me a little bit of time, but it's doable completely. I've
what
obviously
about
got
just
other
the
orders going
saber?
on, but just the saber? 6
Yeah.
gold.
Okay, it's yours.
Which one do you want? The short one or the long one?
I don't know what the hell I'm proficient with.
I don't think
know
you're
what
proficient with
I
martial
guess
arts.
Yeah.
I assume the short one would be dex based.
The short
There-
one is essentially just a short sword shaped like a
Oh,
saber.
no. I'm thinking about effing warlock right now. I can't use sabers. Daggers, darts, slings, quarterstaff, and what about a light crossbow?
Oh, I've got a few of those. And he sort of walks back. He pulls out a crossbow, and you can see that on it there are some markings. Zuzia, you would recognize these immediately. They're Yuan-Ti markings. And he puts it down on the table and says, "It's good workmanship. Managed to pull it off of a couple guys that smashed their heads in."
Are there bloodstains on it?
make a perception or an investigation check.
Okay.
Okay. There are very light blood stains that have been mostly like worked off, but there's still a little bit here and there. But like it's seeped into the wood. It just looks like a weird splotchy pattern. I mean, it's not much.
Sweet. Okay, yeah, looks like it's seen some use, so yeah, it clearly must do its job. Sure, I'll take that. And maybe 20, 25 bolt?
Okay. All together, we'll call that. Let's just call that 10 gold for friends.
Of course, certainly. And she'll hand him 12.
Okay. He sort of just nods at you and puts it in his pocket. You hear it jingling around whenever he walks now. Looks at the rest of you. Anything else?
Nothing
Where'd
for
that
me,
come
I don't
from?
think.
the crossbow?
Yeah.
So the Yonti attacked Dragon's Mouth. He's saying that he got it after smashing one of those Yonti in the face.
Oh.
Basically.
I don't know what it is, but that was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, that unless I see something that looks like I could use it, I haven't really had an upgrade in a long time. I don't know if I need it.
I'll ask him if he has any instruments.
He looks to you and says,
I
well,
can make you one of those easily.
not really, but I do have. There was an old merchant of that type, just down the road a little bit, but well, I haven't seen him about. You could check out his store, see if there's anything left over.
I'll be right back. You folks have fun, and I will
Okay.
do that.
right.
I will. I guess I'll show him my warhammer, which is basically just a fucking auto hammer on a fucking big ass stick,
Mm-hmm.
and ask him. I've been looking to improve this, but I have not had the time recently. Do you think we work together to make this a little bit more than what it is? I've been kind of lacking in my strikes lately.
Fair enough. It would take some time, but I'd be happy to work with you on it. I'd guess between the two of us, about a week's work. It's a lot of metal. It'd be easier to just start fresh, to be honest.
It has a lot of sentimental value.
Understood. Well, then it would take about a week, I would assume.
Very well. I'll bring it back later.
Okay. Nice. As you exit, you can see a building, probably 5 buildings down, with a sort of broken and barely hanging on sign of what looks like a lyre painted onto a piece of wood, and a couple of broken windows on the front of the place, and a mostly demolished door. Okay. Never mind.
Hmm?
Okay, did you hear what I said?
No, sorry, I was doing anything. My bad.
Okay, no worries. There is you can see about 5 buildings down. There is a building with sort of smashed in, partway in door, 2 sort of bay windows that have also been mostly smashed in, and there's some shards sticking up still. And a half hanging on wooden sign hanging over the door of a now weathered but painted on lyre over the door itself.
Okay, I'll walk down, look through the windows, see if I see anything in there.
There are shelves and display cases, most of them broken, but give me an investigation.
Okay. 16.
Okay. You see 2 what seem to be serviceable instruments in there. You'd have to crawl through the window to get at them, of course.
All right, yeah.
All
I'll
right, so
just sort of try and mantle my way through the window without getting cut, and
okay.
No.
Okay.
see if I can
as
flip my way
you-
through.
Yeah, so it's easy enough. I mean, not that big of a deal. But as you sort of
Mm.
climb through, you find, like I said, you can see two items that sort of stand out as potentially serviceable. One of them
Alright.
is a lyre, but it does not have any strings on it currently. It would need to be restrung. Um, most of the ones in here look like they've decayed over the last few weeks or whatever else. There is also a set of pan flutes. It's 5 pan flutes across, and the last one is broken and gives out kind of a nasty waily sound. As you look it over, you can see that it looks like something. It looks like maybe it was a knife or a claw mark. It has inscribed the letter R on it,
Okay.
and
Uh,
there you go.
I'm just
That's about
gonna
all you find.
Okay. Well, yeah, as I'm walking through the place, I'll throw some dancing lights out, just kind of look around the place, see if I can deduce what might have happened here, if I can.
As far as you can tell from sort of some old spattered blood and the pattern of broken glass leading to and along one of the windows, it looks like someone or something jumped through the windows, cut up whoever was inside, and then left. As far as you can tell, there's definitely signs of like a struggle and all that.
Okay.
You can also tell. You can also see drag marks kind of through some of the dust and debris of what seem to be 2 or 3 bodies. You're not entirely sure that have been dragged back out the window at some point, and from there, there's no real trace of them anymore.
Okay. Yeah. Good to know. See, I guess I kind of want to stand here and just look around a bit more, but if that's all I can find, that's all I can find. So, with that,
Yeah, I think that's all you're gonna find in here for the moment. Unfortunately, you find some moldy old bread.
ooh, neat.
I mean, not much else.
Make penicillin out
I'll
of that.
I'll take the moldy old bread, and then if I see any birds on my way back to the store, I'll just kind of crumple it up and throw it to them.
Yeah, there's a couple of city seagulls, so pigeons.
Yeah.
Here and there. Yeah.
Pigeons trying to repopulate their own population on the airplane, I
Yep.
would imagine. Just
Yep.
kind of got brought over with the.
Yep, they were just sort of attached,
Yeah.
and they ended up here. Yeah, so they're the rats with wings are hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I am feeding
Yeah,
the
I mean,
birds. Yeah.
the whole thing takes no more than like 10-15 minutes tops. It's not very long. The rest of you, you guys are in Biggs's shop. Is there anything else you guys would like?
Speaking of improvements, I'd like to have a word with you, Ta, and Nix later.
All right.
Are you talking to Biggs?
No, just to Ta and Nix.
Okay. No worries.
Well, Biggs, I think that wraps up what we need. So thanks for your work on the ship, and I guess Gad will be back about the hammer, I suppose.
Sounds good. I might be able to do some upgrades on that blade sometime too. Had a few
Oh, really?
ideas. We'll see.
Well, you have my attention.
We'll see.
I'll-
I need to
I'll-
do some tests, and right now I'm being kept quite busy. But
Okay.
when I have a few minutes free, I will see what I can do.
Then I'll probably come back with Gad then.
All right.
if you want to, make a really nice, deadly push dagger, I've learned that I've found a knack for it.
He looks at you and sort of like looks you up and down, and notices like the stick thin arms and stuff, and goes, "Right.
I'm just shaking
I'll
my
see
head.
what I can
no.
do. I'll see what I can do."
Okay, thank you so much. This has been truly helpful. Appreciate it.
All right. So as you guys exit, you notice that it's definitely probably now about one in the afternoon or so. The winds are kind of picking up a little bit in the afternoon. It seems like there might be a light bit of rain as storm clouds. I mean, not particularly mean looking storm clouds, but some storm clouds are sort of rolling over. from off to the northeast, headed southwest. You sort of gather up the goods that you found or bought or whatever the case may be. What would you like to do?
I would like to talk to Ta Nix about
Alright.
what the fuck is it called? Bag of holding.
Bag of holding?
No, I think was it
Oh,
in there?
the Soul of Ember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that.
As Ta knows, I run
What,
on
you want
borrowed
the
time.
second one?
No, it was just one.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
run on borrowed time now, and
Yeah.
I need to
I-
recharge every now and then. I was
gave it to-
talking with. Did you give it to me? I don't have
I
it in my
gave it-
inventory.
No, I gave it to Damiel.
Domiel?
Yeah, when we got back, because Nyx had to keep holding it in her hand and like keep it lit and stuff and keep it warm.
No, that was a different thing.
Oh,
This
is
is the
it?
big gem thing that was around oh wow, my brain. Mal's neck, basically.
Oh, okay.
You were talking about the flames of the elemental, which he does still have in it, and he's experimenting with. So
Maldazar's gem or whatever it's called. Domiel has been doing some experiments and thinks that could be a new temporary source of power for me to keep going.
Yep, take it. Go. Like just literally hold it out to you. Like, here it is. Here's the chair.
Thank you. And I'll just I'll take it and put it in my bag.
okay. Anyone else?
All right. Well, hey, unless anybody else has anything to do, we've got strings that I can. I'm ready to head out and do this if everybody else is.
Well, we have a apparently dinner thing planned with Soria tonight.
Oh,
we
really?
should clean up.
I'm not gonna miss free food and really
Yeah.
nice.
We should
Did
probably
have
also
etiquette after all.
we should probably also get some sleep.
Yeah, we've kind of been up since.
Yep.
Yeah.
I should
Remember-
probably have you being rolling disadvantage on everything, but
Remember, we're all demons.
Mhm.
All right, demons, let's go to get a nap in.
All right.
Demons.
Oh
Long
yeah,
story.
you weren't there. Yeah,
There was a
it is.
whole thing at the magic house.
Okay, well,
Oh,
as long as I'm not
Nyx.
involved in that.
Tell
There
us
was also a
Susie
magic
about the
house.
super cute chair that you wanted to get.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, it's a pile of ash now. I'm so sorry. But it was deceivingly cuddly.
There were two more, but they're now
Oh.
waterlogged.
were two more.
All right. All right. Well, maybe in the future we'll come across some.
So it was this giant teddy bear, right? Like it's just like fade to black.
No, but seriously, it was a giant teddy bear golem that would give you a hug if you sat on him, but then you had to try to break free or maybe get sucked into his giant, like, super plushy hug.
Sounds nice.
They're not really
Good-
hostile.
and
They
good
just don't
way
know
to
anything about
die.
it.
There's
Todd
worse ways to
interpreted it as
die.
hostile,
Yeah.
apparently, and then firebolted the thing.
Well,
Uh,
we've seen some shit, so I didn't trust it.
That's
And there was
fair, but at
no-
the same time, it's yeah.
They
Yeah,
must
and
have
no
rented their
flame
fair share of
retardant.
golems.
Yeah, no flame retardant material was used in the construction of that, so it went up in flames
Oh.
real bad. But there are still two more. in
'Cause
there.
I could have easily seen that being like, oh, it's a plush chair that hugs you and then absorbs you into itself, and then like you suffocate inside. And I was like, let's avoid that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's potential. You could, that could kind of happen, but if you make friends with it, who knows?
I was wondering if it'd be like if it was
That
just
makes sense.
literally a matter of being like,
Tack on
Hey,
some
you're
armor
hugging
to it.
tight, and then it's like, oh, sorry, friend, or whatever stupid magical thing, like the door.
The door is great.
I love the
Okay,
door.
I love that door, and I also love the key. So
Oh, we should have
Me
asked if we
too.
could keep the
Backwards.
door and put the door in as the front entrance for the ship.
Oh God.
God, no. I don't want that. Because I have to come up with insults every time. And, well, it's not too difficult.
You
It's
could just,
also really annoying. And if I
just-
had to do that every day, that would be real annoying.
Right, and just channel your inner rage, man. Let it out.
Yeah, but that's not in time period or setting insults. It's not so easy.
Also, when did we get an enchanted keg?
Oh, what?
Downstairs
There's
in
a
the
bag of
basement,
holding.
there
Oh
was,
yeah, Nick's got that.
enchanted wine bottles, which Nick says swiped, and
Oh,
she gave you the
those.
keg of enchanted something.
There are
or other.
also those
Oh.
other like 2 potions that were orange that I wanted to grab before we left, but oh well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
But it's
right,
not like
wait a
an
minute.
endless keg, is it?
No.
I don't know.
Who
It
knows?
never got
Oh,
identified.
we don't know. Okay.
But yeah, PM me the identify thing on the amulet or whatever.
Yep.
We got.
I will in just a little bit. Mostly because I gotta find it again, because now that you just reminded me, I have already like closed out that window.
FYI, we are running on about 3.5 hours.
Yep. Not planning
So
to go
yeah,
much longer.
we find a place to clean up and sleep.
Okay. And you guys take a short rest. Is basically how it's gonna be because dinner is at 6. So you guys all sort of come together around the table. It's just Soria, Sid is there, Kara, and yourselves. And I mean, it's good food. It's food piled high for essentially it's enough food easily for 2 or 3 times your number. But yeah, Soria sort of looks to you and says, "Well, I had a thought, which is if this is a big if, but if we can help one of these places, perhaps we can send out refugee ships and start building up our forces here and everything. So, if you've decided where you're going, I'll put some ships on alert and perhaps you can send word. I hate to see the city so barren.
Does the sending stone work interplanar?
No, unfortunately, but
I do have a sending spell.
right. And perhaps I can provide you with a scroll for it as well.
Absolutely. If we manage to liberate a city or town, who I believe that would be a very intelligent course of action. I'm sure that they would be willing to help the effort.
I believe Imistral might be our best chance currently.
That's where we have our eyes set on current.
Imistral, all right.
I think it'll be good for us to get a foothold that's farther away from most of the units. So either Vilwin or Ibistro, both if we can. And then I think the best course of action is go straight to Luthadel. And then we'll learn about the orc encampment to the north while we're trying to sort out the drow families there. And hopefully the dragon doesn't show up.
Well, that's fair.
What do we know about the city of, or Silverleaf or Rockdale?
Rookdale, it was the closest thing, I guess, to what the orcs had for a city. I don't know what state it's in. I have not been. It was built into essentially a pit in the mountain, sort of a valley between several different mountains themselves, and the buildings and things were supposed to have been dug out of them. I'm not sure. I've never been, nor have I seen it. But from my understanding is it's a sacred place to the orcs. I don't know what state it's in now. Silverleaf is, again, one of those places that we've not heard much from, but news still trickles in. It seems that they have packed up the city itself, or at least all the people and their things, and are currently moving, staying out of the way of the orcs as best they can. At least until we can get someone there to help.
But things are not quite so dire there.
No, they seem to be holding their own for now. I don't know how long that'll last, but as long as the orcs seem to be focused on the Feywild, they seem to only be harassed instead of outright slaughtered.
That might be a good secondary objective.
What do we want to use for travel? Take a skiff?
I was actually about to ask that. If you may help us, or if we had means to get ourselves to Emistral, would it be possible to maybe send a skiff or something with the refugee transports to hasten our next objective once we help out there?
Well, I think we could just go through the portal in the skiff in Vilwin and then go south to Imistral.
You could, yes.
Although I don't know what state Vilwin is in.
And Philwyn, I won't say holds strong, but it holds.
Okay. Then yeah, that's mostly secure.
Right. I would be careful taking the skiff any further than Vilwyn, though. The chances that it would be stolen go up exponentially.
Fair point.
It's not something that you can't do, but I just wanted to
Yeah,
give
Well,
the
kind of
risk.
figured that. That's why I asked in that particular way.
Well, my concern is trying to cross the continent without something like that will take some time.
More
Perhaps.
than what we may have.
How big are the rivers that go through the land, by the way?
Pretty chunky. Depending on where you're looking, kind of up here by Keokrati, that area,
Mhm.
and towards Vilwyn, that's a lot like the Mississippi River.
We've taken a ship
It's
up there
pretty
before.
chunky. Yeah.
Okay, because just on
Um,
the map, like this section of river, even the smallest bit is apparently 1.4 miles.
It's not. That's
I know,
sorta
it's not that-
exaggerated, but
that-
yeah, it's still pretty. I mean, it's big enough to get a ship through.
Yeah,
Could
let's
we
do
get a ship, like a full-size ship, from Keokrati to Luthadel?
It depends on how big the ship is,
Fair enough.
primarily because it depends on how deep the ship goes.
What about Keokrati to Imistral?
With a raft, you could come out here, kinda, and then come along the coast. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So, 'cause I was gonna say, I brought up earlier that I do know a way we could get a ship in the material plane. Might be a bit convoluted, but it's an idea.
All right.
Well, something we may want to consider if we have rapid transport. If we came out of Vilwyn, went south to Emistral, if we got things sorted out there, we'd have a foothold on the west coast. Then we could maybe go over east to Silverleaf to just check on them and maybe rouse some troops or something just to like get them moving over to the west coast where it's more secure or something like that. And then head northeast to Luthadel from there. But that requires a steadfast transport. If it's through a ship, I'm worried about trying to go past Keokrati because we know that's not in a good condition right now.
Well, what we could do is, so if we got an actual ship, we got to Imistral, we sorted that out. Could then go around to Rochta or Rochta, try and
Rockdale.
sort whatever is out there. I don't know if that's been lost or if that's been corrupted or
It's
whatever.
an ancient orc city.
Okay, then yeah, let's avoid
Holy
that.
site.
So yeah, no.
But then
If we
could
go there,
up-
we're going to lose Ta.
If we go up through the river, passing the Glandrathar, we could take this river in a raft and completely avoid Keokrati on our way to Luthadel.
We would need to make a raft.
True, but I don't think it's the least of our worries, and it's better than dealing with Keokrati.
Well, the other problem is all along that river, there's the potential to run into a lot of prying eyes, namely of the orc variety, because they had a Riverguard keep east of Keokrati, which got destroyed, and they may still have forces there or camps spread out. It was right there. So I'm worried about trying to take something up the river because it's not a fast process, and we would be really easily spotted. I'm also worried about taking a skiff because it could be stolen. So I don't have a proper answer right now.
Or seen as well.
Or see.
Yeah.
The only options for a skiff are either stay stupid low and terrain mask the entire way up, or stay stupid high where people might not notice us.
What if that's the north? What if we went from Imistral up the coastline over to over River's Mouth up here and took the rivers over to Len, and then took Len to
Those were
oh.
lost very early on. They might be heavily entrenched with
Well,
Daunty and Drow forces.
Praven was lost. We don't know about the other ones.
Yeah, you've heard no news of the other cities.
Yeah. So theoretically, that might work. There is that purple line there that goes across as a big like canal between.
That was dug out. and
Basically
it's,
the Panama, but with less dying.
Yeah, there are docks along.
It's still quite a bit of dying. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna level with you. It's still quite a bit of dying.
So that could, in theory, work. I
It's not a
think
perfect idea.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, there's no perfect ideas here. I think definitely Mistral needs to come first, so we can sort of establish a foothold, and then start moving east from there. Well, the greater forces will move east from there. We're going to try and punch into Luthadel. But yeah, I think that'll work. It's just a matter of, would you be able to reach your crew that you talked about once we were over there? Or do we have to go to them first?
As I've mentioned, I can hopefully, with slight chance of failure, only slight, get us to the ship. I don't know where that ship is, but from there we can sail directly to Imistral.
Yeah, that's my concern. We have no idea where the ship is.
I would imagine, though, it probably isn't too far off. If Dragon's Mouth and are the two cities we know about, and this sort of place is the most safe area from orcs, it might be the place they're most likely to hang out. Then again, they could be over in uncharted territory over on the other side of the map, so not entirely sure.
Is there any way to get a message to them?
I had a sending scroll. I could probably take care of that.
I'll just like turn to Soria. Is there any way we can get that to happen?
I can give you one if you want more.
I think we have 5 days that we have to wait for Gad to get fixed up.
Yeah, about.
All right. I could perhaps build 2, but doing so will tap me. I will put my mind to it. I will do my best.
Because that is, that's pretty important. And then we still need to be able to speak with you. Do we have any means to get back? I guess other than Vilwyn. There really isn't any way to get back here.
If you can get to Vilwyn, you could come back on either the refugee ships, or we can get you back however we need to. Assuming nothing goes terribly wrong. But
Right.
I've stopped assuming that too much. Regardless, we should be able to get you back. Should you be able to get to Vilwyn, one way or another.
All right. I think.
Lady Saria, do I have your permission to treat this place as our sanctuary?
For now, yes.
Thank you.
Speaking of entrusting you with things, hey, would you be interested in holding on to 20,000 gold that you could then spend on the ship for us?
She looks at you, sort of like confused for a second, then recognition of what you're asking, then sort of dumbfounded. Like, where the fuck did 20,000 gold come from? And then she just starts laughing. And says, "Oh, is my ship not good enough for you?"
Nix puts her hands up.
She says it jestingly. She's not really making a big deal. She goes,
She knows what happened to her, right?
She
Oh, okay.
Kinda.
Yeah, it was
She's
great
fucking with you.
when it was whole. I loved it.
She looks at you and says, "I can do that. No problem.
Right.
We can discuss the particulars later. Let's not spoil the dinner with too much tedium. But I'll have you write up what some things just so that it's all official and above board."
Sounds good.
All right. So, with that, she sort of motions to one of the guards, and they bring out a giant chocolate, or well, rather red velvet cake. I mean, I'm talking the size of Nick's. On a
So,
cart.
pretty small.
I was just gonna mention like Nyx is gonna have like a.
So it's just like a really tall stick of red
At
velvet.
this point, yeah, there's just a giant cake in the room, and she just goes, "I like sugar, and I deserve something good today." She just goes over, cuts out a huge slice, and is literally mage hand eating it. So you guys
Nick
can
slowly looks around at each one of them, looks at Saria, and like nearly cries, and is like, "I'm getting so fat tonight."
Okay.
Gad doesn't understand.
Doesn't do food.
I'll just like slide my piece over to Nyx, like here, have mine.
Oh god, okay.
Out of
Fair enough.
curiosity, do I get served a piece?
No, you can go and I mean, yeah, actually they would serve you guys small pieces if you wanted
He's
or whatever.
the
Like, you would
Alphonse
do
of the
that
group.
normally.
I just
Just,
kind
like,
of, I
opens
just
his
kind of like
helmet
look
and, like,
down on it.
drops it in.
That'd be great.
It's good.
Yeah,
So
I'll
what do
just
you do
like,
with your piece?
I'll just like hand it over to like push it towards the middle of the table and see who grabs it first, Saria or Nyx.
Oh, Saria's got a massive piece. She's not going to grab it. Anything else for now?
Nick just slowly pulls it towards her like smiling plate.
Do you
She just
maintain
doesn't
eye
say
contact with me?
anything. She just got a mouthful of cake and just like looks at Gad and just keeps slowly pulling.
He's like,
I just like wiggle my fingers at her a little bit and clean Nyx's face of all the red velvet.
Okay.
I'm gonna like just like after he does that, I'm just gonna like sort of like put my arm over near and be like, careful, she might want that like from her later.
That is a good point.
About 5 seconds after you do that, I'm sure Nick still looks like a 2-year-old who just got done playing with a smash cake, but still.
Oh yeah, this is totally a smash cake.
Yep. All right. So, I think at this point, we'll come to a close. You guys have a plan. You have most of the things set up.
I
Oh.
imagine this is Nyx right now.
Super quick. Nyx is gonna
didn't mean to do that.
write down some of those enchantment suggestions on that flying piece of paper, or one of them that she has, and she'll say, "Go to Whistle Snap," and we'll see what it does.
Okay, wait, what?
There were flying pieces of paper.
Yeah.
Like, she grabbed
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
she grabbed like 10 of them. She wants to write down a list of like the enchantment suggestions we had,
Okay.
and she wants to tell the paper to go to Whistle Snap and see if it does.
Okay. Yeah, so you kind of hand it over to him. He doesn't seem to immediately notice. You can see he's just kind of like holding, like you meet him in kind of in his study. He's just sort of looking around, still dumbfounded by everything. You can see he's writing in a notebook like a list of, it's like a to-do list, and it seems to be about 6 pages currently. You hand those over, and he says, "All right, I'll do some research and find out what we need for these. I don't know offhand. Thank you. I'll find you once I know."
Thank you very much.
Oh, I wanted to ask Sid if he's gonna be working on our ship.
He looks over at you and says, "I work on every ship."
Okay, well, I think you'll enjoy working with a fellow who came over from another island to work on ours that seems to have some rather interesting ideas and techniques that you might enjoy.
Oh, who would this be?
You know that one guy that I forgot the name.
What the fuck?
Domiel.
Oh, was that Dovia? I thought Dovia was the guy that was here on Dragon's Mouth that was
He
just
is
working
now.
on.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, no, I thought he was like from Dragon's Mouth.
He's the Haida guy.
I got it
From
mixed
Haida.
Okay, the Dovia.
Yep.
Yes, sorry, I thought that was a different dude.
God,
Yeah,
there's just gifts of cake being stuffed into people's faces, and my
While
fucking
we're on the silly stuff page, I think the cat is also rather apt for this moment.
yeah.
But
All right. So, you guys have mostly gathered what you need and sort of set things in order. A little bit before you go, I'm going to speed through this a little bit, but you guys have 5 days to sort of prep or whatever. At the end of the 5 days, Gad, you're presented with a sphere. Same dimensions as the other one, but inside there is a large ruby gem inset into gold with the chain that once held it around Maldazar's neck, sort of pinned along the sides to hold it in place in the center of the sphere. It's hot to the touch, very hot to the touch, but not so much as it burns you right away. Domiel basically pulls the sphere that you had previously.
I just nod at
out.
him and then just switch off.
Yep, and puts the new one in. For the moment, you feel revitalized and fine. I mean, you obviously still need your rest and all that stuff, but yeah, you feel much better. You don't feel like there's quite so much of a ticking clock. You know, standing in your way.
I don't feel like I'm winded all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least after about a week's worth of stuff, you don't feel quite winded necessarily after a week of regular stuff. You can feel, this heat, which is a little bit warmer than, just the regular fire that you were dealing with before. Fill your body. What of it is body. And
Please tell me I've turned into a sentient space heater.
You're a toaster.
I was gonna say you're a toaster, Harry, but no.
I'm a what?
Exactly. So regardless, I will give you a little bit of that later. But you do notice that when this was done in Domiel's workshop, it did glow with a dim light. It was the gem itself seems to be emanating quite a lot of fire magic, one way or another, or radiant, perhaps. You're not entirely sure at first, but it seems to be both. Afterwards, after it's sort of inserted, and you guys, after sort of saying goodbye to whoever you wish to say goodbye to, you load up on. How are you going to get there? Are you going to take a skiff through and then something? I don't know. What do you want to do?
Do we want to finalize that thing that Biggs wanted to do with Toss Sword or the work on the Warhammer?
They're working on that. It's going to take at least a week's worth of work. Do you want to stick around for a full week?
For the Warhammer or for my sword? Or both?
Potentially both.
Oh, well, that's not
Yeah, no.
really
If
an
it,
option.
yeah, just take the 5 days.
Okay.
Does anybody need anything and if anybody's got a ring of spell storing or anything like that? Or
I've got an iron
magically.
stone.
What?
Okay.
I've got an iron stone.
Yep.
Okay.
Here's my point, basically. What is the plan to get to Imistral currently?
Well,
What
I
do you
guess.
guys pre-plan?
I mean, if they could take us on a skiff like through and then down to Imistral, then that'd be best.
Okay.
Because otherwise, we'd have to take our own. But I mean,
Not
we could just
Sid.
go into Vilwyn and then why not Sid?
Sid can't drive.
Fine.
Oh wait, no, Sid's fucking daughter. That girl. No,
Yeah,
she cannot drive.
yeah, she was fucking insane. But Sid was
Yeah,
fine.
she's sort of a daredevil pilot, I guess.
Yeah.
Be the
Right
way I
after
put it.
like fucking 50 pounds of fucking cake. No, inside of that.
Well, it was like 5 days ago at this point, so it's probably receded.
Okay. So you're actually met by a familiar dragonborn, Isig, who has you load up
Oh, yeah, Isig.
onto a a skiff and says, "I'll drop you out on the outskirts of Imistrel in the woods. It's the best I can
Alright.
do."
It's just like Halo.
Something like that. Yeah, you'll have to be quick. I have a schedule to keep. And you notice in the back there's also a box. It's a metal box. Seems to be lead lined. With like it's got like a removable top, but there are 4 locks, one on each edge. And that's sort of stuffed into the corner and then like tied down into place.
Oh, and what was the means of communicating to Saria?
I have sending
You are
spells.
provided with a single sending scroll. She couldn't finish the other.
Okay, sending scroll. Okay,
But Kai has.
who has that?
I have the sending spell.
Who has the scroll?
Whoever.
Probably you do?
Dice
Or
could have
it's in the-
I'll
or
take it.
Whoever. Yeah, Dice
Right.
will take it.
Yeah.
All right. So, you guys are, as you sort of load in to take off, you can see Kara and Sid sort of talking on the balcony. They wave to you as you take off. You can see your ship being built. Still still working on the skeleton of it. It's taking a little bit longer due to not perfectly on time deliveries due to some storms of metal, but they are coming along on your ship itself. Soria and you have worked out the details, and I will work out with you guys what those are exactly in the coming couple days, just so that I know.
Oh, I'm also done. Almost done. Sorry, almost done with the thingy, the ship layouts. I'll be posting them soon.
Okay, no worries. That's awesome. So as you guys take off, leaving the floating city of Dragon's Mouth behind, you're flying into what looks like just empty space. You go probably 2, 3, 4 miles, and then you see a row of dots on either side of you, sort of staggered. As you get closer, you recognize the purple sails of the Dragon's Mouth. I guess Sky Navy, for lack of a better term. Several of their sky ships aimed towards the area where you assume the portal to be. As you kind of go along the line of these ships, a small little blip opens up, and in front of you, you can see a dark sky. Black almost. It looks like it should be light out. You know that the time here is roughly equivalent to the time there, and you took off in, sort of mid-morning, I would say. And you can see that the sky is black. Rolling thunderclouds and lightning fill the air. There are, ahead of you, some broken spires of the once prosperous city, Vilwyn, and refugees piled up along the outer parts of the wall and just inside as well. You can see off in the distance what looks like another black mass on the ground. Pit fires burning, large pit fires burning, smoke rising from them, almost to feed the storm clouds. As you exit through the portal and come down to land in Vilwyn, you're told that Isig just needs to drop the box off. And then you're headed to Imistrel. And that's where we'll pick up next week.
Dun dun dun.
Something like that. Welcome back to the material plane.
Where everything is fucked.
Yep,
But
much.
you won't fall for eternity.
Honestly, I prefer it.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's very dreary
You gotta
here.
remember though, this is the land of people that know Nyx. I mean, probably owes money to or has fucked over. So.
And that's if they're still alive.
If it makes you
That's
feel
a valid
better,
point, though.
90% of them are probably dead.
Yeah. By the way, how many armies are approaching Vilwyn as we get in?
There seems to be just one, and it's
Okay.
more of a siege than an army. like,
Alright.
or as a sieging armor rather than an attack or anything. Meant to attempt to starve them out, I guess. But
Cool,
it
so
doesn't
do you
really
wanna deal
work
with
when you
that
have,
first?
yeah. It's hard to do that when you have access to an entire other plane with food on it.
Hmm.
It seems to also be more of like a blockade for villain, so that they can't get out. And that's what you guys are going to hopefully dodge. We'll see.
Or get rid of.
Yep, one or the other.
Yep.
Well,
Anyway.
anyways, for anybody who's watching on Twitch and later on YouTube, thanks for watching. I guess we'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.
Yep.